Public Television presents the Georgia High School Association 2000 Football Semifinals. Funding for this program is provided in part by Georgia Natural Gas, Georgia's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, IBEW Local 613, and by South Trust Bank. Two games in the books, three more to go, including this big one, the AAA semifinal between Jackson and Fitzgerald. And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Georgia Dome. Boy, you've missed some exciting action if you haven't tuned in yet. A big single-A win for Buford Wolves win it over McIntosh 26-6. Meantime, Americus over Charlton County 20-14 in the AA game. And of course, this big one between Jackson and Fitzgerald, the Red Devils, and of course, the Purple Hurricanes. It's going to be a great football game. Boy, we had one in the AA showdown as Charlton County was making a run in the last few minutes of the ball game, but the pass was intercepted last second, and that was it. Americus wins it 20-14. Charlton County, of course, the defending champs from single A. Now they lose in AA to Americus, so Americus is on to the championship game next weekend. But anyway, as the football rolls on from the Georgia Dome, it's Jackson and Fitzgerald, and for the call, here's Chuck Hushen and John Davis.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chuck Hushen along with John Davis, and these are the 3A semifinals. Now, we got a great matchup for you this afternoon, as Jim mentioned. Number 7 Fitzgerald against number 10 Jackson. And Jackson, fresh off an upset victory over top-ranked Hart County last weekend. John, this should be a good one.
It should be. Two totally different offenses and a lot of excitement.
Let's go now to the players of the game as we spotlight two of the players. How about the team stats? Let's take a look at those now. These are two teams that are rather diverse when it comes to offense. You've got one traditional style offense. Fitzgerald runs a wing T. Jackson runs a run and shoot. They're wide open, John.
Fitzgerald's going to try to establish the run, establish the line of scrimmage as much as they possibly can at the beginning of the game. On the other side of the ball, you've got Jackson who's going to do the run and shoot. Throw the ball. They're about 50-50 offense as far as run to pass ratio. So it's at any one time they're going to be able to open it up.
Take a look at the statistics for Jackson. They come in 9-1 in the regular season. They're now 12-1. And that reflects the run and shoot. 1,695 yards passing, 22 touchdowns. They've got a great quarterback in John Greer. We'll talk more about him in a moment. Also, 2,037 yards rushing, 20 touchdowns, so they're an offensive juggernaut. So you see the stats for the Jackson Red Devils. We get set to go in the 3A semifinals here at the Georgia Dome. Coach Mike Paris is a veteran of 7 years head coaching. He started at Forest Park, had some great players there, including Hines Ward, who was now is with the Pittsburgh Steelers and played for the Georgia Bulldogs. Let's take a look at his game plan for this afternoon's action.
Well, offensively, what we try to do is we try to spread people out. We throw the ball about 35, 40 times a game. Our quarterback is our athlete that makes plays happen. If things are covered up, we get him to take off and we get him to do the things that he's able to do, and that's make big plays. Again, what we try to do is we try to balance the attack. We try to not let everybody play against the pass, and we try to run the ball enough to make people stay true to us. And so offensively, you know, we just try to peck away a little bit and then try to hit you with a big play. That's been our motto all year. Defensively, what we try to do is we feel like our front folks are not very big, but we try to quick people and move around a little bit and send the blitz and do some things. You know, we're going to have to stop the wing T. We're going to have to play responsibility football. That's the way you stop the wing tee, and hopefully, you know, we can get in there and do the things that we do right, and that's run to the football and be aggressive on defense and arrive angry. That's our motto. So hopefully we can do that defensively.
Fitzgerald, the Purple Hurricane from down in South Georgia, they come north, and they've had a great season as well. 12-1 after winning 12 straight ball games. They lost in the opening game to Coffee County, and let's take a look at their season stats.
Chuck, as you see right here, they're definitely a rushing team. They're going to try to establish the line of scrimmage. First series out, play some smash mouth football, and you can see there over 3,000 yards rushing, passing 530 yards, and they're going to try to set the stage as quick as they can.
Robbie Pruitt is in his first year as head coach of the Fitzgerald Purple Hurricanes. Had a whole lot of success down in the state of Florida. Here's his game plan for this afternoon.
You know, Jackson does a great job throwing the ball and spreading you out, so we're going to have to, you know, give him a few different coverages, not give him the same thing to look at twice, and also try to get some pressure on him at times. So those are the things we're going to be concentrating on.
So Jackson getting set to battle Fitzgerald in the 3A semifinals at the Georgia Dome. We're back with the opening kickoff coming up. State semifinal action from the Dome on GPTV. Jackson has won the toss, and they have deferred to the second half. So Fitzgerald, with the purple jerseys, gold helmets, and gold pants, are set to receive. Kickoff coming down to Ali Coffey back at the 9, to the 20, 25, finds the seam. Ali Coffey out across the 40 to the 41-yard line before he's knocked out. Stop on the play is made by Roderick Shannon. So excellent field position, John Davis, for the Fitzgerald Purple Hurricanes. As they begin their first drive, here's the return.
Opens up right there on the edge. You can see down the sideline. Does a good job protecting the ball right there, and opens up with great field position.
Ali Coffey with exceptional speed. Justin McDonald is the quarterback as the Purple Hurricanes put it in play. First down 10 at their own 31. They hand off to the fullback. And he gets a couple of yards. On the carry was Tyler Pruitt, the son of the coach. 23 touchdowns scored on the season. Tackle on the play by Robert Williams of Jackson.
In order for Fitzgerald to be successful, Chuck, they're going to have to, again, establish the offensive line of scrimmage and get underneath Jackson.
So a gain of 2 yards on that play. Second down, 8 yards to go. Get a little movement in there as they try to run a counter play, but I believe one of the offensive linemen may have jumped early. Perhaps it was the running back Rodney Smith, but this will cost the Purple Hurricanes a grand total of 5 yards. They'll back it up to about the 37. Fitzgerald comes in 12-1 under Coach Robbie Pruitt in his first year. He's an alumnus of Liberty University, class of 1982.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense.
Career record for Robbie Pruitt, 179 wins, 30 losses, virtually all of those coming in the state of Florida. He was a great coach down there.
Sometimes you have to wonder why he came up north of Florida, but that's very impressive to have that type of record with 7 state championships.
Place the ball down at the Fitzgerald 38-yard line. Second down, 14 yards to go. Inside handoff on a reverse. Goes to Kevius Johnson, the wingback. He breaks the tackle and takes it out near the 45-yard line for a gain of about 7. Good second effort by Kevius Johnson, 5'8", 170 pounds, and a sophomore. Josh Dover and Clint Brown combine on the stop.
Fitzgerald's going to try to run a lot of misdirection.
You see the starting lineups for Fitzgerald on offense. As the Purple Hurricane break the huddle, you see the offensive line and the backs. Justin McDonald under center, play action, deep drop, gonna put it up and overshoots everyone. That pass out there intended for the tight end Dan Ball, 6'3", 205, and a senior, was incomplete. Marquez Ward, the cornerback, and the coverage. As you see Dan Ball, big receiver. Here's the defensive lineup for the Jackson Red Devils, come in ranked number 10 in the country. Rather State, excuse me. 10th ranked Jackson Red Devils. Their only loss this season coming to 3A LaGrange. So 4th down, and Fitzgerald must punt it. The punter is Justin McDonald, the quarterback. Jeff Myritz takes the punt at about the 24, gives up a couple of yards, and then gets thrown backward. Eric Lewis on the stop for Fitzgerald. No score. We're just underway. You see some of the big crowd here at the Georgia Dome for the 3A semifinals. We've got 2 more games to follow this one. You're not working those as well, are you?
No, I'm
this
taking
is your second game of the day here.
I'm taking the rest of the afternoon off. Had a great game this morning with Buford, McIntosh County. So, and a great game, the second AA, and now we're going to hope to have another one for this AAA.
Absolutely. Jackson Red Devils put the ball in play at their own 22-yard line. They run it wide open. They've got a good quarterback in John Greer. Greer under center throws a flare pass out to Roderick Shannon, and the Purple Hurricane reacts quickly. Fitzgerald, Eric Lewis, a strong safety, over to make the play after a gain of 1. Maybe held him to no gain. Good play by the Fitzgerald defense.
Very up-tempo offense that Jackson has right here. We'll be able to see the starting lineups for them, I believe. Nope, looks like we're going to get a playoff before we see those.
Ball at the 22-yard line. No gain on that last play. You see it, 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Just underway in the first quarter. Shotgun formation. Straight drop by Greer. Here's a pass out to the near side. It's complete to Orlando King, the junior wide receiver. Ollie Coffey, the cornerback for Fitzgerald, closes quickly. It's a gain of about 3, so 3rd down and 7 yards to go.
Chuck, Jackson runs a little bit of an offense that I am familiar with when I was with Houston and the Buffalo Bills, the run and shoot offense, where they have 5 offensive linemen. They throw everybody else out, all the receivers, and try to play up tempo. Also try to get a running game established to spread the field out a little bit.
Again, the shotgun formation on 3rd down and 7. John Greer. Play action. Greer rolling to his left, getting pressure, throws it incomplete. That time the pressure came from Maurice Driver, the quick side defensive end. And the big key on John Greer, you got to contain him. This guy has excellent quickness. He can get outside. If you don't keep him from getting outside, you've got big trouble.
Got a real nice chance of stopping him. Also, he's running an opposite side of the way he throws the ball, so you keep him off balance right there. But did a good job of flushing him out early and making him do something he didn't want to have to do.
Greer is also the punter. He averages 37.9 yards per punt coming in. And Greer gets it out of there. They kick it away from Ollie Coffey, and a good job by Jackson County on special teams as the ball rolls out of bounds at the Fitzgerald 36-yard line. Let's go to the sidelines. Here's John Nelson. John.
Guys, Jackson's playoff existence here at the Dome's gone the sum total of 3 minutes and 17 seconds, and they shut down the entire town of Jackson. 15,000 people. They've easily sold 4,000 tickets, and buildings and mills that have never been shut down for productivity have been shut down for this game. So the last one out of Jackson turned out the lights on the way here.
And down in Butts County, they're excited about their Red Devils. Each team 3 and out. Fitzgerald goes to work. 1st down 10 at their own 36-yard line. McDonald hands on a counter play to Kevius Johnson, and great play by the Jackson defense as they hem him in. Clint Brown, the outside linebacker, and inside backer Ronald Wright knocked down Kevius Johnson. About a 3-yard loss, so it's going to be 2nd down and 13.
Good job by stringing that play out, not allowing him to pick his holes and run up in the hole. But that's what Jackson's going to have to do. They're going to have to string him along and make sure that don't let Fitzgerald have a chance to get a head start running downhill.
Purple Hurricane break the huddle. Each team comes in at 12 and 1. And they hand to the first man through. That was the fullback, Tyler Pruitt. And he gets a couple. Tackle on the play by Robert Williams, the defensive end.
You know, the emotions are running high during this first couple of series, Chuck. You know, the kids are real nervous being in the Dome. First time experience, so it's going to take them a series or 2 to get comfortable with the atmosphere and get down in their game plan.
Neither of these teams has played in the Dome before. As John Nelson mentioned a moment ago, Jackson brought the entire city with him up here. 3rd down and 9. There's a draw play, goes to Rodney Smith, Big running back. He gets across the 50 to the 49-yard line. The safeties combine on the stop, Myrick's and Sims. But Rodney Smith, who had 508 yards rushing coming in, broke the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Then he got it going, crossing into Jackson territory. Here it is again.
See the counter going out to the left guard and left tackle blocking. One of the things about this type of offense, the defense really has to stay at home and stay disciplined with their game plan in order to be successful against Fitzgerald.
So first down, 10 yards to go. The first first down of the afternoon. They hand it off to Pruitt. Tyler Pruitt, the fullback, finds a little hole and takes it across the 45 down to the 43-yard line. That'll get him about 6. Jack Gilroy combines with Robert Williams on the stop. You see Tyler Pruitt, as he heads back to the huddle, scored on a 59-yard fake punt last weekend in the victory over Lubbock.
What they needed to get over the top, and they're doing a good job so far mixing up the plays with the counters and the quick hitting plays to the running back. So it's try to keep Jackson off the on the heels of their feet.
Second down and 4 yards to go. McDonald will hand this time to Kevius Johnson, the wingback, and this time the Jackson Red Devils are ready. Jack Gilroy, defensive tackle, a senior, knifes through to make the stop on Kevius Johnson. Get a good look at Gilroy. A great football name, Jack Gilroy.
That's exactly right. Look at the two guards pulling out right here, but looks like the center and tackle missed the defensive lineman right there and allowed him to get penetration and blow the play up in the backfield.
Defensive end Robert Williams gets an assist along with Gilroy on that play. So it's a loss of 1 yard. That brings up third down. About 6.5 yards to go. McDonald will play action this time. Going to throw it underneath. Pass complete to Rodney Smith. He takes it down to the 30-yard line. Another first down for Fitzgerald. Ronald Wright, the inside linebacker who had coverage on the running back out of the backfield. And he couldn't quite keep up with Rodney Smith. He's got great speed.
Step too slow right there. He toes out. Nice quick pass to Rodney and brings it in, protects it, and picks up the first down. Offensive line does a good job right here. Play action pass, allowing the quarterback a chance to make a good throw.
Actually got the step on Tim Sims, the outside linebacker. So it's first down 10 for Fitzgerald at the Jackson 30. There's a counter play. Goes to Smith again. This time he gets knocked down after a 1 yard loss at the 29. Jack Gilroy and Robert Williams combine on the stop of Rodney Smith, 5'10", 170 pounds, and a junior. It's going to be second down. 9 yards to go. Ball at the 29. You see the numbers on Rodney Smith.
63 carries, 508 yards. This guy can do it all. He's obviously they're running back by committee.
8.1 yard per carry average. And they hand it off to Tyler Pruitt, the fullback. He gets it down to the 26-yard line. Ronald Wright, inside linebacker and a senior, makes a stop on Tyler Pruitt. So this is the thing, the wing T, a lot like a wishbone. They run all these different looks at you, a lot of different options. Not exactly the option play, but you got a lot of options with a wing T.
And that's why Jackson has to stay disciplined on the defensive side of the ball and not over pursue and just play their gaps. And if they do that, they're going to be successful. But at any one time,
gain of 3, third down 6, play action. McDonald going to overshoot his receiver Tyler Pruitt in the flat. And good coverage by Carlos Morgan, an inside linebacker. So brings up fourth down and 6 yards to go from the Jackson 26, and decision time for Coach Robbie Pruitt of Fitzgerald.
I'd be surprised if he goes and kicks it. I was watching the kickers in the pregame, and they look like they have the distance. You go for it. You really don't have anything to lose down here. You miss it, still have Jackson backed up a little bit, and let your defense come out.
Now you got it. They're going fourth down and 6 yards to go at the 26-yard line. And here's the option, and it's not going to go. Rodney Smith, the ball carrier, is knocked down for a 2-yard loss. Tim Sims, the outside linebacker. You see him headed off the field, number 10. Makes a big play for the Jackson Red Devils. Here it is again.
Look at right here, you see the quarterback reverse field. Also, you see 58 right here go straight for the quarterback, and then you see Sims not taking his eyes off the running back right there and making a big play on fourth down.
Assignment football. First down, 10 yards to go for Jackson. Put it down at the 26-yard line. John Greer, the quarterback. They motion a man there and then hand it off to the running back, Cedarius McDaniel. He gets out across the 30 to about the 35. Zach Lucky, the middle linebacker, makes a stop on Cedarius McDaniel. 5'6", 175, and a junior.
Quick hitting play right up between the left guard and the center, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to throw a lot of things at you, and Greer does a great job of controlling the tempo of the game, and that's exactly what the coach wants.
No huddle offense. Twins to the top of your screen, twins to the bottom. Now in motion, Shannon over this way. And quick hitch to Shannon. Roderick Shannon on an inside reverse takes it across the 40 to about the 43-yard line, where he picks up the first down. Ollie Coffey makes the stop. So mark the ball at the 43.
Chuck, they came back with the same play, except this time, like you said, they handed it off to number 2, Shannon, and able to pick up the first down, keep the chains moving and the clock as well.
Ball at the 43-yard line. You see it, no score. We're getting a little late here in the first quarter. Short drop by Greer, throws out to the far sideline, complete to Miquel Mayfield. That's going to get him about 5 or 6. Stop on the play is by C.J. Blunt. You see Mayfield, and this is just a quick hitch. Too much cushion there by the defensive back.
C.J. Blunt does a good open field tackle right there. He's got to be careful to, he's going to give him a little bit of room, but you got to be careful when you do that to make a good open field tackle.
2nd and 5, ball at the 49-yard line. There's Greer out of the shotgun. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. Not much more. Maurice Driver on the stop. The outside linebacker for Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald did a good job right there, Chuck, of not over pursuing as he was trying to get out on the edge, and then as he cut back, they played disciplined football, stayed in their gaps, and was able to meet him head on right here, as you can see.
Greer being recruited by numerous schools. He's had an excellent year, the senior. Out of the shotgun once again. McDaniel is a setback, and the throw is slip screen. The pass is complete to Shannon, and he gets hammered at midfield after a gain of about 1 by Will Bryant. A little slip screen. Again, another underneath route, and Fitzgerald reacts very well.
Fitzgerald's speed showed right there. They were able to go out and stop that play before it got started. That's an old Georgia play they love to run, but you can see Fitzgerald right there just meeting them head on and not allowing them to get the first down.
So it's 4th down, about 2 yards to go from the 49-yard line, and Greer will punt it away for Jackson. Ollie Coffey deep to receive, takes it at the 13, and then gets bowled over. Stop on the play is made by outside linebacker Clint Brown, and Fitzgerald will start this drive at their own 11-yard line. Good look at Clint Brown.
Dangerous play right there by Ollie Coffey, catching that ball with Jackson so close to him, but you see right here he does a good job concentrating. Looks like he might have a broken wrist or a broken arm, but does a good job bringing it in. A little bit too close for comfort, though.
Clint Brown was open for business when he hit him head up at the 11-yard line. So the Purple Hurricane goes to work under Coach Robbie Pruitt. Justin McDonald brings him to the line of scrimmage. And a handoff goes to the fullback, Tyler Pruitt. He finds a little running room, gets out near the 16-yard line where Ronald Wright makes the stop.
Fitzgerald pretty much tells you exactly what they're going to do, Chuck. They're just going to run the ball. They're going to try to establish the line of scrimmage, and they're going to throw a pass every once in a while, but they're going to work on getting their running game going.
Well, this has been all defense so far. We expected an offensive explosion. It just hasn't happened. Second man through is Rodney Smith. And Smith gets only about a yard running at right tackle. Robert Williams makes the stop for Jackson. So it's another big 3rd down play, about 3rd down and 5 here for Fitzgerald.
Jackson's going to try to do is one of the things that they feel like they're going to need to do to be successful is try to keep Fitzgerald in 3rd and long situations and force them to pass simply because they're not a great passing team. They feel like they can do that. They can get the defensive linemen to pin their ears back and go after the quarterback, McDonald.
Kevius Johnson comes out. C.J. Blunt, one of their leading receivers, comes in. He's lined up in the backfield with Tyler Pruitt on 3rd and 5. Quick pitch goes to Blunt. CJ cuts it back, crosses the 20 out to the 23-yard line. Is going to be close to the first down.
We talked a little bit earlier about the cutback and over pursuing, and Jackson just over pursued a little bit too much right there, but did a good job cutting back, and you can see where he picked his hole up right there and reached out and got the first down.
Jack Gilroy on the stop for Jackson along with Jeff Myrick. So C.J. Blunt picks up a first down as the first quarter comes to a close here in the 3A semifinals. And Jackson battling Fitzgerald. There's no score. Back with quarter number 2 coming up on GPTV. Part of the large contingent from Fitzgerald, Georgia, up to watch the 3A semifinals, and their Fitzgerald Purple Hurricane battling Jackson. And Fitzgerald with a football, first down 10 at their own 24-yard line. Handoff this time goes to Maurice Driver. And Driver can't drive out of there. He gets knocked down by Carlos Morgan. And Carlos had a whole bunch of help from his Jackson Red Devils. Forward progress to the 23, but that's a loss of 1, so second down and 11.
Jackson's defense is doing a great job gang tackling, getting into the ball, and not allowing them to make a cut back, as we said earlier. And that's what they've got to do, and that's what they feel they need to do to be successful against this team.
Winner of this game gets the winner of Swainsboro and Washington County. That will be played tomorrow afternoon. Handoff to the fullback Pruitt. Finds a little seam, crosses the 30 out to the 31 for a gain of about 7. Ronald Wright, the inside linebacker, makes a stop for Jackson.
Quick hitting play up the middle. Left guard did a good job blocking down on the nose guard. Allowed him to open up the hole so Tyler Pruitt could get him about 8 yards right here. I think you'll see the center, going back and blocking back. But he does a good job right there, running north and picking up 8 yards.
Little trap by the left guard, Josh McDonald, who's Justin McDonald's twin brother. One's a guard, one's a quarterback. There's counter play. Maurice Driver is hitting the backfield. He'll lose a couple. Robert Williams, the defensive end, penetrated along with Carlos Morgan. Anytime you get that kind of penetration by the D-line, you're going to cause problems.
That's the one way that really the only way you can stop the counter play is getting the penetration, just as you see right here. Morgan does a great job getting in there and blowing up the play before it even gets started, and they continue to do that. Puts them in fourth situation, gets the ball back for him.
Justin McDonald, quarterback, set to punt. Both quarterbacks are punters here today. It's a float up. Comes down at the 37, gets a good Fitzgerald roll and kicks down to about the 23-yard line, where it's down by Ali Coffey. So a good punt by McDonald. And Jackson will open up shop at their own 23.
Chuck, kind of funny, the two return men kind of looked at each other while the punt was in the air and just let it drop right down in between them. I don't know if there's a little confusion on that or what happened.
So here comes the run and shoot of Jackson once again. No score in the game. Just underway in the second quarter. Jackson battling Fitzgerald for the right to advance to the 3A championship. In motion, Ali Coffey over to the near side. Now they load up that lower side of the screen and run the quarterback draw, but John Greer gets out to about the 29-yard line. John Greer, the senior quarterback, gets 6. Josh Alexander makes the stop for the Purple Hurricane.
This type of offense right here for Jackson, it kind of poses a problem for the offensive linemen in a way, simply because 9 times out of 10 they don't get in their stance, and it makes it hard for them to get movement off of the line of scrimmage. So you're going to see him do a lot of the counters and traps.
Second down, 4 yards to go after the gain of 6 yards. Ball at the 29-yard line. Again, Coffey motions over. Get a little movement in the backfield. There's the flag. This is going to be illegal motion. And they throw it incomplete, but this is going to be a penalty coming up. Cedarius McDaniel moved forward out of his stance. And, of course, that's an automatic 5-yard penalty.
Trying to get a jump on the ball right now, and then it puts them back into second and long situation where they had a good
illegal motion on the offense.
You can see it at the top of your screen. as McDaniel just starts leaning forward, and then he got too far forward and couldn't stop.
There's a point in there to where you just can't stop anymore, and I've been there. I've done that plenty of times, so I know how he feels.
Jackson will go with its shotgun package now. Twins left, twins right. McDaniel is the setback. Greer, straight drop, fires underneath, and the pass into and out of the arms of Troy Williams, the outside linebacker, and he knows he should have had that one.
Greer threw a bullet right there, and you're exactly right. Hit him right in the hands. You'll see, it's like you might have thrown a little bit behind the receiver right there, and you can see that just hit him right where you'd want it to hit him. And Jackson's thankful to be out of that situation without a turnover.
Orlando King was the intended receiver for Jackson. So here we go. 3rd down, 9 yards to go now. Again, a shotgun package for the Red Devils. Greer gonna step up. And he eludes one tackler. 30, 35, 40. Skips out of bounds. And there's a flag, a late hit coming up on Fitzgerald. They're going to mark it at the 45-yard line, but then they're going to tack on 15. Josh Alexander popped John Greer after he escaped containment. We talked about that earlier, and then got loose out to the 45. This is going to put the ball in Fitzgerald territory. Watch it again.
You'll see right here, it's the run and shoot's hard on the offensive line because you've got these guys pinning their ears back.
Dead ball foul. Personal foul on the defense. 1st down.
It allows Greer right there to really make a choice and become the next, become a running back. And you could see that immediately when he was running out of bounds that flag was coming because Fitzgerald just couldn't pull back and stay off of him.
After the penalty, they mark it at the Fitzgerald 40. So Greer has 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Now to the shotgun once again. Straight drop, fires down the middle, passes over the head of the intended receiver, Roderick Shannon.
Offensive line did a good job building a wall right there to let Greer get his feet set and be able to make a good throw. He just overthrew it a little bit. It was open down the middle. And got to be careful about that because when you get the 2 safeties back there, you got to be able to pinpoint that ball in there.
Gary Carter, the free safety, had the coverage for Fitzgerald. I like John Greer's arm. He's got a nice arm.
He puts some heat on it. He does a good job, and he's a little bit off of his accuracy right now. But as you go along, you can tell that he's the type of guy that gets the confidence he needs.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Ball at the 40. They fake the handoff on the dive play. Greer keeps it, breaks the tackle, 35. Down to the 30-yard line. John Greer, 2nd effort. Gary Carter, the free safety, had to make the stop. And Greer showing some of his strength as a running back as he faked the handoff, and then 2 or 3 people had a shot at him for Fitzgerald, but he was able to squirt free. Here it is again.
Great job, great 2nd effort. 3 tackles right there, and does a good job spinning out 4 or 5 tackles. So he's doing a good job, over 1,100 yards rushing this year. And like I said, he becomes a running back there. He has the ability to run or throw the ball. It's his decision. He does a good job, picks up the 1st down and moves the chains.
So 1st down, 10 yards to go. Ball just inside the 30. They motion Correll Smith over to the left side. Now they've got trips left, 1 to the right. Shotgun package once again, and Greer going to go to the right side. And he throws it out of the reach of Orlando King. The wide receiver lined up all by himself over there. I thought he had an out route. He was open, but Greer didn't hit him.
Yeah, it looked like there might have been a little miscommunication there. And that's a long way to throw. If you look, Chuck, from the near side hash to the far side sideline, that shows the kind of strength because that ball didn't hit the ground until it was well out of bounds.
Jackson advanced by beating Cedartown 21-7 last weekend. John Greer, an interesting comment in that game. After that game, I should say, said, "I cannot be stopped."
Nothing like confidence.
But sometimes you stop yourself. You know, you got to keep things in perspective. But it's good to have that self-confidence. Flag on the play.
That's a comment to make at the end of the season.
You don't want to make an illegal procedure to call against Jackson, so they'll back it up 5. You don't want to create any bulletin board material for folks, do you?
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense.
And you can bet right now that Fitzgerald had it up on their bulletin board
exactly.
too. You know, you like the confidence, and that's what you've got to have to win. But there's sometimes that you just got to kind of hold back and be the team leader and set an example and not make comments like that. But if you can back it up.
Yep. The proof's in the pudding, right? 5-yard penalty puts it back at the 35-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 15, and now we're going to get a timeout call by Jackson, I believe. Coach Mike Paris wants to talk things over. You see, Mike Paris, interesting story, was on a state championship team as a junior at Redan High School in Stone Mountain. Redan won a state championship in 1980, just their 4th year in existence. And one of the kicker on that team and one of the better defensive backs, Kevin Butler of the Chicago Bears and University of Georgia fame.
Went on to have a great career, and you know, it's nice to see those Georgia boys go out and move on to college and also into the NFL. But came from a great program, and he set the standard for a lot of the kickers. Kevin was a little bit brash and a little, you know, one of those cocky kickers, but he was the guy that could back it up. And I remember being recruited by Georgia. I saw 4 years of him, and it was 3 years of him, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And he just went out there and got the job done, and really the pressure never bothered him at all.
Yeah, he was pretty good defensive back in his days at Redan High School, and is the godfather to Coach Mike Paris' son. So the two old high school buddies have maintained their ties over the years. Right now he's got a battle on his hands with Fitzgerald. It's 3rd down. And rather 2nd down and 15 yards to go. Here's Greer out of the shotgun once again. Going to throw a post drop over the head of the intended receiver, Roderick Shannon, and he had him open at the 5-yard line. Shannon went up, made an attempt at a one-hand grab, but Roderick Shannon was running right down the middle of the field wide open.
Greer's got a lot of adrenaline right there. That's 2 passes in a row right down the middle that he's really overthrown, and both of the guys have been open. But he's going to settle down here and start making those passes. You can see right there he's got great arm. You can look at the arm strength right there and precision, but just out of the reach. And
nice tight spiral. It's 3rd down and 15 yards to go. Ball at the Fitzgerald 35-yard line. You see the score. We're about midway through the 2nd quarter. Greer straight drop once again. Now he's given ground. Getting pressure, breaks contained, 45, big-time block, and Greer finally knocked out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. He's going to be about 10 yards shy of the 1st down marker. It's going to be 4th down. Tackle on the play by Josh Alexander.
Fitzgerald's defensive backs did a really good job right here of making the coverage. You can see Greer's really not getting pressured right there, and he just kind of starts running before maybe he should have. But the defensive backs with Fitzgerald did a good job staying with their coverage, and he goes down and picks up about 3 or 4 yards.
And a good block by Cedarius McDaniel, the running back, who peeled back on Zach Lucky. So here's a field goal try of 48 yards. And that kick is good. 48-yard field goal. And it's by Brady Johnson. You see him, number 19, Brady Johnson knocks one down from 48, and Jackson grabs a 3-0 lead.
Great kick, got his foot through it. Chuck, that was his career long. He had a 47-yarder earlier in the season. That was 48 yards. You can see he really got every bit of it right there. Just crosses the crossbar and gives them a 3-0 lead.
So Jackson draws first blood midway through the 2nd quarter. Get a good look at Johnson. Betters his career best by 1 yard, a 48-yard field goal.
Mississippi State and Navy looking at him. Hopefully he'll have a chance to extend his career to Saturday afternoons, and with kicks like that, it makes it a little bit easier.
Part of the big crowd. John talked about him earlier. John Nelson talked about the large contingent of folks coming up from Butts County and Jackson, all clad in red to watch their Red Devils battle in the state semifinals. Here's Johnson's kickoff. And it comes down to C.J. Blunt at the 5. Blunt back to the 15. Blunt 20. Blunt 23-yard line before he's knocked down. Tackled by Tim Sims, an outside linebacker.
Good job staying in the lanes by Jackson. It looked like Fitzgerald was trying to set up a wall over on the left-hand side, but C.J. saw something on the near sideline. You can see he wants to go over there, and then all of a sudden he cuts it back up to the right and gets the ball out past the 20-yard line.
And a nice tackle fundamentally by Tim Sims. So first down, 10 yards to go. Ball at the 24-yard line officially for the Fitzgerald Purple Hurricane. They are ranked 7th in the state. They come in at 12-1. Jackson ranked 10th in the state. They are 12-1. Handoff going to Tyler Pruitt. He doesn't get much. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Clint Brown and Robert Williams combine on the stop.
Jackson's defensive line might have a little bit of momentum. They've really done a pretty good job this afternoon of controlling the line of scrimmage, and that's what they're going to have to do. They play disciplined play right here, but takes on the trap real well and plays their gap controls and doesn't allow Fitzgerald to get through the line of scrimmage.
Let me correct that. Reggie Pascal was the ball carrier rather than Tyler Pruitt. Pascal not quite as big, maybe a little quicker. And he gets it again, dragging people along, running at left tackle, crosses the 25 out to about the 27-yard line where he's knocked down. Tackled by inside linebacker Carlos Morgan, wearing number 44.
You can tell Robbie Pruitt's going to stick with his game plan, Chuck. He's just going to try to run the ball until he can establish the line of scrimmage. And again, Jackson's defensive line's doing pretty good. Got him in a 3rd and long situation, and that's where they want him to be.
You look into the eyes a moment ago of Reggie Pascal, 5'4", 135, and a senior. But he can scoot. This time, they set the wing back. Kevius Johnson on the right side, rolling to his right is McDonald, going to throw it underneath. Pass is complete to Terrell Holland. He's got the first down out at the 37-yard line. Marquez Ward had the stop for Jackson.
Good field management right there. Did a good job looking that ball in and knowing where he was on the field before he got out of bounds, but does a good job. Gets a good throw off right here, and you can tell good job bringing it in and getting his feet down before he gets knocked out of bounds.
11th catch of the year for Terrell Holland. So it's first down, 10 yards to go. They mark it at the 37-yard line. Justin McDonald under center. And a roll to his left. Throw underneath. Pass complete to Kevius Johnson in midfield. Johnson takes it down inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. Kevius Johnson finally racked up by Tim Sims. And back-to-back passes from Fitzgerald, normally a running team, and they cross up the Jackson Red Devils.
Justin McDonald does a great job right here. He sits in the pocket. He's running opposite the way he throws. He takes a hit right there. Great concentration right there by Kevius to bring the ball in and get him a first down. And Fitzgerald's building up a little bit of momentum through the air, and we thought it might be on the ground.
So first down 10, ball at the 38-yard line of Jackson. McDonald going to hand it this time to Kevius Johnson. He runs down to the 35-yard line. Kevius Johnson taking the handoff from his wingback position. Stopped by Clint Brown, the outside linebacker, who had lots of help. You see Clint Brown, he's number 35.
Sometimes you tend to break the tendencies, Chuck, as the season goes along. You see that Fitzgerald, runs the ball 90% of the time, and they've really thrown probably more in the first half than they have the whole season.
James Davis is in the game at wideout. He's wearing number 87 at the top of your screen. And they hand on a dive play to the fullback. Reggie Pascal doesn't get much. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Tackle on the play by Robert Williams. Watch this again.
Offensive line does a good job standing up the offensive line and just not letting them get any movement off of the ball. And look right there, you see the gang tackling again and what Jackson's doing. And
somebody forgot to block Robert Williams. Reggie Pascal ran right into him. 3-zip. Just under 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Purple Hurricane with third down and 7 yards to go at the Jackson 35-yard line. Bring back Kevius Johnson. Keep your eye on him as he lines up on the right side. And Justin McDonald sees something he doesn't like, calls a quick timeout.
Looked like they were trying to pull Jackson off sides, and when he saw that he couldn't, decide to call a timeout. We'll go over there and talk to it with Coach Pruitt and see what kind of play they can come up with. Really, this is 2-down territory for them. They're obviously going to go for it on fourth down if they don't get the first down. So maybe ought not always think about getting it in one shot.
In case you're just joining us, Buford defeated McIntosh County earlier today, 26-6. And then in the AA game at noon, the semifinal game, It was Americus over Charlton County, the reigning single-A champ, that moved up 20-14. And we got plenty of action left for you. The Syrup Makers, one of my all-time favorite team nicknames. Cairo Syrup Makers take on the Shaw Raiders in the Quad A semifinal. And then the 5A semi at the end of the day, Stars Mill and the Harrison Hoyas from up in Cobb County. So a Metro Atlanta matchup in the 5A semifinals, and then 5 more games tomorrow.
5 more. It's been great, and you know, that's what happens when you add the extra classification. It opens up 2 more spots in the semifinals here at the Dome, and it gives other teams another opportunity to compete here.
So this is a big play for Fitzgerald. They're down 3-zip, and they face 3rd down and 7. The Jackson quick pitch is going to C.J. Blunt. Blunt looking for running room. Got only 3 to the 32. Tackled by inside linebacker Carlos Morgan. And so now an even bigger decision for Robbie Pruitt as his team faces 4th down and 4 yards to go. Great pursuit on this play, John.
You can see him just stringing the running back out right there. He does a good job right there. It looks like the defensive end making them cut back, and your linebackers are sitting right there in the hole where they're supposed to be. Good disciplined football.
And you see big number 44, Carlos Morgan, 165 tackles coming into this game and 8 sacks.
That young man's a hoss. He's all over the field with a good chance to go and play at a smaller Division I school.
6'1", 230, a senior. Here's 4th and 4, straight drop. And the screen pass coming up. They throw it to C.J. Blunt. And he has a 1st down as he gets knocked out of bounds at the 26. C.J. Blunt on a screen pass picks up the 1st down. He's their go-to guy. Clint Brown, the outside linebacker or roverback, made the stop. Watch it again, John Davis.
I tell you what, when you put the screen pass together like this is something to watch. The offensive lineman got out there all together. They go after their men, and they do a great job, gets the 1st down for them. But when you mesh together like that and you're all on the same page, screen pass is something else to watch.
And Josh Dover, the defensive end, decked Justin McDonald as he let it go, but a nice pass. Play action. Here's McDonald. Going to throw it underneath. Ball is off the hands of the intended receiver. That's Maurice Driver at about the 15-yard line, and that's one he should have had. A good look at Justin McDonald, 6 feet. 180 pounds, a senior, and also pitches for the baseball team as well. Quarterbacks always. Now you probably were a catcher, right?
That's all I did. You can see right there, it just touches him right where you want it to. But I tell you what, football was my sport, and I'm sticking to it. I love basketball too, but that's just because I was 75 pounds bigger than everybody else, and I could pretty much control the paint.
4 years at Georgia Tech and a stint with the Buffalo Bills. Happy to be working with John Davis today. And here's a handoff that goes to the Fumblerooski. This is Jim Smith with a touchdown. And everybody was fooled. Jim Smith, the right guard, scores on a Fumblerooski. That's what Robbie Pruitt brought with him from Florida, the one that Bobby Bowden made famous at Florida State. Everybody headed to the right. Jim Smith went to the left. He goes 26 yards, and Fitzgerald leads Jackson 6-3.
I look forward to seeing the replay on this one to see if they even fooled our cameramen as well. I'm still watching the ball come down the sideline on this side. Jim Smith's in the end zone scoring his
Fooled
touchdown.
everyone but my spotter, Robbie Ross. He was all over it. And I'm sure John Nelson was not fooled either. Offside against Jackson, so they'll move it half the distance. Jack Gilroy, one of the defensive tackles, slipped in there. Here's a call.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense.
So they'll move it to the 1.5-yard line.
Seen a little trickery in there, and you're right. That's what he brings up from Florida. Definitely had Jackson. I can almost assure you they haven't seen that this year, but did a good job getting them in the end zone.
So from 1.5 yards out, Fitzgerald wants to go for 2, and then they get some people jumping along the line there. Kevius Johnson jumped a little bit early, so this will cost him 5. And they'll probably kick it now. Yep, here comes the kick team back onto the field. Their kicker is Fausto Avila.
Dead ball, false start on the offense.
Pushes him back into about 23-yard field goal range right there. Looks like the jersey's a little bit longer than he is, Chuck.
Yep. Fausto Avila, not a big guy. McDonald, Justin McDonald gets it down, and Fausto Avila knocks it through. We get a good look at him as he comes off the field. The kicker for the Fitzgerald Purple Hurricane. And they have a 7-3 lead over Jackson using a little skullduggery. I think it's a term.
I think changes. Here you can see him going in the end zone right here for a touchdown. Nobody, obviously, Jackson didn't have a clue what was going on.
Talk a little bit about the Fumblerooski and how it works. You're an old offensive lineman.
Well, you know, it's something they would never let me run, but it's my understanding that the quarterback just gets the ball, lays it on the ground, and the guard just picks it up and runs around the quarterback or runs around the corner. And I'll tell you, another player who was very successful at doing that was a good friend of mine, Dean Steinkuhler, for the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Yep.
He did it in the Orange Bowl one year, and kind of made it known a little bit. That was something that Tom Osborne put together. So it's something that you can only do at a certain time, and obviously Coach Pruitt picked out the perfect time to run it.
You see him, number 57, Jim Smith, the right guard. They put the ball on the ground. He was coming over as much like a pulling guard or a trapping offensive lineman. Picked it up, went to the end zone. Nobody even see him leave.
Over there looking for the oxygen. Good touchdown for him, though.
He could still be running. So Fitzgerald set to kick it off. They have the lead for the first time today. Maurice Driver kicks it short, and it's taken by one of the upbacks. That is Darnell Walker. Walker gets it out close to the 30-yard line, maybe the 31. Arthur Ray Holland makes the stop for Fitzgerald. So Jackson will go to work. They'll mark it at the 32-yard line. Big play, a 26-yard Fumblerooski by Fitzgerald. They're out in front 7-3.
Good field position for Jackson right now. They just need to go back to their game plan and try to drive the ball down like they did the last series.
John Greer out of the shotgun with twins left, twins right. Straight drop. Protection breaks down, and down goes Greer. The sack back at the 27-yard line. Will Bryant, the defensive tackle, finally broke free, and Greer started to run out to his right, and he ran right into the arms of Bryant. Watch it again.
Offensive line does a great job keeping him out. This is what you call a coverage sack, and you just see Greer standing there, and then he starts to get happy feet. Reminds me of Jeff George, and just has to eat the ball, but good coverage sack by Fitzgerald.
Will Bryant with the sack for the Purple Hurricane. So a loss of 3, second down, 13 yards to go. They mark it at the 28. Now a flag flies, thrown by the umpire. And we got flags flying all over the place.
I hope Jeff George is watching, but I hope he doesn't mind me saying getting a little bit of undisciplined play right now, jumping off sides and just putting them back more in the hole.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense.
False start against Jackson, so they'll back it up 5 yards to the 23-yard line. It's going to be second down and about 18 yards to go. Jeff George trying to figure out who his coach is in Washington as he plays for the Redskins. Smith motions. Here's Greer breaking tackles, 33-yard line. Nice run by John Greer, the quarterback. And he gets most of the penalties back, plus the sack. Roy Williams on the tackle for Fitzgerald. Let's go downstairs. Here's John Nelson.
Guys, just listening to Robbie Pruitt, and he is pleading with his offensive line. The defense, he says, they're playing their hearts out. They've got to do stuff on offense that doesn't go to page 9,000 on the playbook. He says he's getting 4 or 5 guys penetrating the line of scrimmage. They've got to stop it, but they will stick to the game plan.
What page is that Fumblerooski on? That's what I want to know. Greer, play action. Got to get pressure. And puts it up. Pass is complete out at the 49-yard line to Roderick Shannon. Nice throw as he was backpedaling away from the line of scrimmage. John Greer put that baby on the money, and Roderick Shannon, a nice catch. You get to watch it again.
Great job right here. Offensive line really does a great job, Chuck. One of the things that you've got to be concerned with as a quarterback is that, you're going to put yourself in situations that you're going to get pressure. But great concentration right there by Shannon, bringing that ball in and making up the first down.
Gary Carter had the tackle. First down, 10 at the 49. Greer out of the shotgun once again. Steps up in the pocket, wants to run, and he breaks a tackle. Still on his feet, gets to the 48. Flag is down. This could be a hold or perhaps a face mask. Coming up against Fitzgerald. Will Bryant made the tackle.
Got to have a little bit more confidence with your offensive line as far as holding back there and letting the plays develop with the wide receivers. It looks like that he's just ready to run the ball as soon as he gets it from the center.
Face mask the call. It goes against Fitzgerald, so they'll mark off the penalty. You see Greer, man, once he gets outside contained, he is a tough customer.
Big, strong kid. Make something happen.
5-yard face mask.
Now they called Troy Williams, the outside linebacker, with the violation. So the penalty will put the ball at the 44-yard line, and Jackson will call timeout here. They want to talk things over as we have only a minute 15 remaining in the second quarter. They'd like to get on the board here. They trail it 7-3 to Fitzgerald.
Had to make up that penalty. Second and long. Did a good pass to Shannon. Get him the first down. And the reason why they only called, people might be wondering, 5 yards on the face mask, is that as soon as he touched it, he let go of it immediately. And when you do that, they're only going to call five yards instead of just trying to take his head off.
Well, we've had great football all day long here on GPTV. Let's go to Jim Ginocchio now and get a quick recap on everything that's happened. Jim?
Chuck, earlier today, single-A semifinal, Beaufort McIntosh County Academy, and it's Joey McDonald with 3 rushing touchdowns. Beaufort wins it 26-6.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Game following that one, it was Americus over Charlton County in 2A. This is game 3 of the day. It's been a dandy so far as Fitzgerald leads Jackson 7-3. Red Devils moving the football on first down. Straight drop by Greer. Throws underneath, pass completed to 30-yard line. That goes to Orlando King, the wide receiver who'd lined up on the right side. So it's another first down for the Jackson Red Devils.
You see him run a little bit of hurry-up offense right here. Greer did a great job of throwing that ball in there, was able to follow through. Again, the offensive line gave him enough time to let his receivers go down and make their breaks into their routes.
Under a minute now remaining in quarter number 2. First down, 10 yards to go at the Fitzgerald 30-yard line. Straight drop by Greer. Now he wants to run. John Greer breaks the tackle, 20-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. May have another first down. Ollie Coffey, the cornerback, made the stop. John Greer broke 2 tackles and picked up the first down.
I just think he's wanting to run the ball a little bit. I tell you, doing a good job on the offensive line, but the Fitzgerald defensive backs are really doing a good job with the coverage, and you can see Greer, easy for him just to tuck the ball and take it out, gets the first down, and then stops the clock.
Yep, I was going to say, more importantly, gets out of bounds, stops the clock with 43 seconds remaining. See the old stiff arm there as he jumps out of bounds at the 20-yard line. They're measuring on the far sideline.
Good,
and
strong,
it is a first down.
Good, strong young man. You can see right there how he drives his legs. Not going to be taken down with arm tackling, and that's what you like to see with those running backs.
So Jackson getting close here. They've been held out of the end zone so far. They have only a 48-yard field goal by Brady Johnson. Here's the shotgun package, and Greer back again. Throws underneath, passes complete to the 10-yard line. Nice catch by Orlando King as he grabs his second consecutive pass from John Greer. Ollie Coffey had the tackle once again. The ball just outside the 10. So it's going to be first down. And 10 yards to go. They can still get a first down.
See right there, another good throw. Great concentration right there. Puts his knees down, stays in bounds, catches the ball, and then falls out and stops the clock again. So great concentration on 2 catches by King.
Well, not a great spot for Jackson. They're going to rule that the knee went down back at the 10.5. So it's going to be second down. About a half yard to go. Timeout called by the Purple Hurricane. You see Coach Mike Paris.
33 seconds, Chuck's a long time to, you can easily get 3 plays in there. Try to get out of bounds. They have all their timeouts, so they're in pretty good position right here to.
All right, we've got a 3A semifinal flashback. Some great games down through the years. Let's take a look at one right now.
'96 AAA semifinal. Just over a minute left. Thomas County Central trailing Marist 28-21. Leonard Guyton to Eric Williams for 28 yards down to the Marist 2. 2 plays later, Joe Burns scores from a yard out. Coach Ed Pilcher calls for the 2-point conversion. Guyton the pitch to Burns, who finds Alfonso McKibben.
Joe, here we go on second and very short. John Greer with the football. 10, 5, touchdown. John Greer, touchdown Jackson. In the books as an 11-yard run. John Greer finally breaks containment on the left side. He gives Jackson back the lead. And the score here is 9-7.
Great job getting around on the corner on the outside. He wasn't going to be stopped from getting in the end zone, and this is exactly what Jackson needed to get on the board before they go into halftime.
So Brady Johnson, who hit a 48-yard field goal earlier, is on to try the point after. The holder is Orlando King, and the kick is no good. Wide to the right. So it's still 9-7. Jackson and Fitzgerald, two very, as we said at the outset, two teams with very diverse offenses, but this has been a very even game. Watch it again as John Greer scores on that 11-yard run.
54 gets a great block right there, and it just opens up the hole for him to get upfield, and with the momentum, he wasn't going to be stopped, and you're exactly right. It's a different game than we really thought because Fitzgerald's really throwing the ball a whole lot, and Jackson's really having a great game plan as far as mixing up the run and the pass.
You see a nice seal block by number 33, Cedarius McDaniel. And he leads the way for John Greer to sail on into the end zone.
Looks like number 14 took the shot, that worst shot of all.
So here's Johnson with a kickoff. They're going to squib it. And it's taken by one of the upbacks. Back to the 28-yard line. Rodney Smith grabbed it. And Fitzgerald will have first down and 10 yards to go from their own 28, but with only 22 seconds with which to work. They're trailing here 9-7.
Normally you'd think they'd run the ball out, but they've been passing a lot the first half, so we might see him try to throw the ball and try to get a penalty, or maybe pull one down.
GHSA semifinals at the Georgia Dome, and these games are always fun. There's a 2-yard pickup by Tyler Pruitt, the fullback, out to the 29. Robert Williams, a defensive end, gets a stop for Jackson.
Looks like they're going to let the clock run out. Go in at halftime and talk about the first half and give them the good pep talks and see what happens the second half.
Yeah, anybody's ball game, as you might well imagine. Jackson heading to the dressing room. They brought a huge contingent of people north from Butts County, about halfway between Atlanta and Macon, to watch today's game. Fitzgerald a little further south, just off I-75. They also brought a large contingent of folks, people excited about the 2000 versions of their teams, and it's great, and especially in these small towns like a Jackson, Georgia, or a Fitzgerald, Georgia. Everyone gets revved up.
Well, you know what? I had the opportunity to watch high school football in Texas, and this rivals Texas.
Let's go downstairs. John Nelson is standing by. John?
Here with Coach Paris. How much of a nail-biter has this been for you this first half?
Well, I tell you, it's been this way all year long. We just keep hanging in there and try to make them go 80 to score on us, and that's what we just got to keep doing. They hit us on the trick play down there, so we just got to come out in the second half and play hard.
You're getting penetration, 4 or 5 guys into the line of scrimmage, and it's forcing them, meaning Fitzgerald, to reorient their game plan a little bit.
Well, we hope so. That's what we're trying to do. We don't want them to hit us on the trap plays and that sort of thing, and that they hit us a little bit early, but you know, we got to keep fighting and see what happens.
And with Brady on his range, 48 was about it, wasn't it?
That's about it. That's about it. That's about all we're going to get out of him. But if he can be consistent from there, that's all we need.
Play from Greer here in the first half is huge.
Absolutely, as always. But, you know, we got to have more. We got to have some help, and we got to come out in the second half and play hard.
Mike Paris, thanks a lot for your help right here. Up 9-7. He's got 20 minutes to think over the second half. Let's go back upstairs to Chuck and JD.
Thank you very much, John. We're at halftime here at the Georgia Dome, the 3A semifinals. 2 quarters in the books, 2 quarters to go. You see it, Jackson leading the Fitzgerald Purple Hurricane 9-7. You're watching this.
Halftime at the Georgia Dome. Jackson leads Fitzgerald 9-7 here in the AAA semifinal. And it's been a super afternoon of football, and even 2 more games coming up after this one here at the Georgia Dome. I'm Jim Ginocchio. Glad you can join us. Right now, we're going to take it downstairs and listen to the Jackson Marching Band.
Bagley, one of the band directors of plenty here with Jackson. Who's the Elton John band? That's what I want to know.
I am.
How long does it take for a modern music piece like Elton John to try and get it orchestrated for a band this size?
Our lead time on this was about 6 months.
So how difficult a prospect was it to try and get something that, new or hip or whatever you want to say, what proper word to get it to work in as a band?
Well, it worked out pretty easily. This had been originally written a number of years ago for band, and then we were able to do some editing and all to get it to work with this particular group and kind of play to our strengths and weaknesses.
Okay, now one last question. I want to ask about this patch down here, the London Parade Festival from '99. What was that trip like?
That was the absolute experience of a lifetime. We were there for a week, did the New Year's Day parade in front of about 1.25 million people, and did a concert in one of the big churches in London, and we're really excited. We're going back again in another year.
So this dome crowd's nothing considering you were in front of 1.25 million people.
Well, the 1.25 million were strung out over about 1.5 miles. This is all in one place. This is pretty exciting.
My last question, is it true that the last person out of Jackson today turned the lights out so everybody could be here for the game?
I hope they turned them out. Everybody's gone.
Okay, thanks for your time. Jim Bagley, the Red Regiment. Let's send it back upstairs.
All right, thanks, John. I hope everybody turned the lights out anyway. All right, halftime, Red Devils lead the Purple Hurricanes 9-7. We'll have more of the halftime festivities from the Georgia Dome after these messages and a word from GPTV. And welcome back to the Georgia Dome. Halftime, Jackson Red Devils lead Fitzgerald Purple Hurricanes 9-7. More halftime festivities roll on with the Fitzgerald Marching Band.
Here with Barry Golden of the Marching Canes. To get all this stuff from Ben Hill County, what are we talking about here? How much of an insurrection does this have to be? How hard is it?
Oh, well, we're about a good 3.5 hours from here. It's a pretty good bit of work to get everything together. 3 bus loads, lots of parents, lots of helpers. Everybody just has to pitch in.
Now, what does it mean for the Fitzgerald Band to be playing in a place like the Georgia Dome?
Oh, it's very exciting, very exciting. I've been in Fitzgerald 17 years. I think this is the most excitement we've ever had in our community, so it's a big thrill.
With a group like this, hearing the music, there's a lot of variety. What goes into determining the music for you guys?
Well, the first thing I'd consider is it going to be entertaining? I always try to pick music that's going to entertain our crowd and something that's going to appeal to the audience. We do a variety of things, just as you said.
Now, how big are we talking here with the Fighting Cane Band? How big is it?
Pardon me?
How big is the band?
We have 112.
Now, one of the things I like is a horn section, a very strong horn section and a bass player. I tried to talk to the bass player earlier, true bass player of sound. He was just being cool and just playing the bass. You don't see a bass a lot in bands, do you?
Well, he's a very good bass player, and that's one thing I try to do is feature our strong points in the band. He's a good player that adds a lot to our music. We play a lot of swing things and so forth, so he really adds a lot.
Now, for a guy like me that hasn't picked up a saxophone or a clarinet in a good 5 or 6 years, how long do you think it would take me to get back into playing shape under your tutelage?
Oh, we can get you back in shape in no time.
Okay. Thanks for your time, Mr. Golden. Thanks for the performance.
Thank you.
And let's send it back upstairs. 9-7 Jackson here at the half as it's winding down.
All right, thanks, John. Good job downstairs. I'll tell you, they are putting on quite a show here at the half of the AAA game. It's been an interesting afternoon of football here on GPTV, to say the least. We've had some exciting games and many more to come your way tonight. There's 2 more after this one, and then, of course, 5 more tomorrow. Okay, we have highlights of the first half action, and we begin with Jackson. Quarterback John Greer comes up with a big 20-yard run right here. Gets around the defense and scrambles, finally gets out of bounds here. Big play that set up this 48-yard field goal by Brady Johnson. Just makes it over the uprights, and it's 3-0 Jackson. Fitzgerald comes back, though. It's Justin McDonald to Kevius Johnson. And this play, a big one for Fitzgerald. Then Jim Smith, check this play out. Everybody's faked out on this. Who's got the ball? It ends up, it's Jim Smith, the offensive lineman. There he is, scoring a touchdown. A 26-yard run made it 7-3 Fitzgerald. Then here comes Jackson back. John Greer to Orlando King. Nice catch by King. And then finally, it's Jackson, quarterback again, John Greer, on an 11-yard touchdown run. They would miss the extra point, and that is where we're at, 9-7 at the half. Jackson and Fitzgerald, the winner of this game, plays the winner of tomorrow's AAA semifinal between the Swainsboro Tigers and the Washington County Golden Hawks. And kickoff tomorrow will be at 3 o'clock. All right, let's go back downstairs to John Nelson.
Thanks, G, here with Robbie Pruitt. I want to know where that Ruski came from in the playbook. How far back was that?
It's a play we go to when we've been shut down like we are here, having tried to get something going. That's about all we've had any success with.
I noticed that you were pleading with your offense and your offensive line that we've got to get something going on offense, because you said the defense, quote, was playing their hearts out and they had to step up as well.
Yeah, we can't keep going 3 and out. We've done a great job on defense stopping a pretty powerful offense like they are. We can't expect them to go out and play the whole game. We got to give them some help, and we haven't done that so far.
And you were talking also about 4 or 5 guys in the line getting penetration for Jackson against your offensive line. What adjustments did you make to try and counteract that?
We're trying to do a few different blocking schemes. They're doing a lot of stemming, moving around right before the ball snapped, and so we're trying to change it. We'll have to change up a couple of our blocking schemes.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach Pruitt. Back upstairs to Jim. He's got to work on a 2-point deficit as we head to the second half.
Sure thing. Jackson leads it over Fitzgerald, 9-7. Second half action coming your way. Stand by. You're watching the semifinals from the Georgia Dome.
Welcome back to the Georgia Dome. I'm Chuck Hushin along with John Davis. And we're just about set for the start of the third quarter. Jackson, the Red Devils, leading Fitzgerald by a 9-7 count. Fitzgerald will be kicking off. You see the deep man, Roderick Shannon, for Jackson. And the kickoff Comes down to Roderick Shannon. He gets out across the 25 to the 30 to the 31-yard line before he's tackled. Maurice Driver made the stop for Fitzgerald.
Good job following his wedge up the middle, getting him across the 30-yard line. Go out, try to stick with the game plan that they did the first half. Change it up a little bit, passing and running the ball, and try to control the clock as much as they can.
Any adjustments for Fitzgerald? This run and shoot offense started clicking late in the first half for Jackson.
I've been real impressed with Jackson's offensive line, and if anything, Fitzgerald needs to get back there and cause a little bit more havoc in the backfield.
Twins left, twins right, shotgun formation. Draw play coming up to Cedarius McDaniel, and he gets out near the 34-yard line for a gain of 3. Cedarius McDaniel, you see him, he's just a junior, 5'6", 175 pounds. His starter went down with injury about the 3rd game of the season. He came on and played well. Zach Lucky, the middle linebacker, made the stop.
That wouldn't happen to be one of the Lucky boys, would it, over in the Triplets in Athens?
No. One of those guys transferred to James Madison. The other two have wrapped up their careers. Here's Greer. John Greer gets out to the 36 and had some running room, but he tripped over the leg of David Horvath, his center, and went down. So a gain of about 2 yards on that play brings up 3rd down and 5 yards to go.
Fitzgerald's done a really nice job with their DBs with coverage against Jackson, and Greer's just got to have a little bit more confidence in there to sit in the pocket while his receivers get open.
Fitzgerald, 4-down lineman, shotgun formation. McDaniel motions out to the near side. Greer looks left, now runs right. John Greer's got some speed, 41-yard line before he's wrestled backward, and he's going to be very close to the first down. Maurice Driver, the quick side defensive end, with his 4.4 speed, closed, but I don't know if he closed quickly enough before Greer picked up the first down.
See right here, he's scrambling out of the pocket. He tucks the ball right here, knowing where he's got to go for the first down, and number 4 looks like he might have stopped him right there on getting the first down.
That was Ollie Coffey, the cornerback, who came up to make the play. And they set the ball back to the 40-yard line. They say Greer's knee touchdown there. You spotted it correctly. So Ollie Coffey saves a first down, and now John Greer will have to punt it away. You see him standing at his own 25-yard line. And a flag flies. Referee throwing the flag. That's the deep man for Fitzgerald, Ollie Coffey. Illegal motion. I'm sorry, too many people on the field. Too many Jackson Red Devils out there. And Mike Parrish shaking his head on that one. That's a breakdown in concentration.
It is, having too many people out there, and also the coach on the sideline should have those boys ready to go in.
Ollie Coffey standing at his own 31. Greer with a punt, gets a little pressure. And it's not a deep punt, but taken at the 33 by Ollie Coffey, and he gets about a yard return before he's thrown backward. David Horvath was there.
Tell you what, Coffey's taking a chance catching that ball. Jackson's doing a really nice job of closing in on him, but you can tell he's the type of guy that's going to take some chances to see if he can make a big play happen.
Also on the play was Corell Smith. So first down 10, 1-yard punt return, puts the ball at the 34-yard line for Fitzgerald. 9-7 game. Just underway here in the 3rd quarter. As you can see it, 9:58 left. Fitzgerald scored 1 touchdown. That was on a 26-yard fumble Ruski, and on the dive play, it's the fullback Tyler Pruitt. He gets out across the 35, takes it on to the 38-yard line before he's wrestled backward. That'll be a gain of about 8 or 9. Stop on the play is made by Ronald Wright, that inside linebacker.
One of the ways that Jackson's going to have to continue to be successful, as they did in the first half, is they really got some great penetration and didn't allow Fitzgerald offense to develop and get a good running game going. They've done well, and they've started off doing well right now.
It's going to be 2nd down and 6 yards to go. Second man through is Tyler Pruitt. Breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Takes it out to midfield before he's knocked down. Great run by Tyler Pruitt, the junior fullback for Fitzgerald. And he has a first down at the midfield stripe for the Purple Hurricane. Josh Dover makes the stop.
Good hard running right up the middle. Offensive line does a good job getting underneath, and you can see that linebacker Morgan just flat out misses him, and it allows Pruitt to get some extra yardage. The ball pops out there a little bit prematurely, but looks like Fitzgerald's going to get it back.
Josh McDonald, the left guard, on the recovery. Here's an inside handoff that goes to Terrell Holland, and he gets knocked down after a 1-yard gain at the Jackson 49-yard line. Robert Williams on the stop.
Another trap play right here by the right guard, pulling around, and they get the tight end involved, or the wide receiver involved, trying to lead through there, open up a hole for him. But again, Jackson does a good job of getting the penetration and blowing up the play before it even gets started.
Second down, 9 yards to go. Ball at the Jackson 49-yard line. Fitzgerald in the purple jerseys with a football. Play action. Justin McDonald wants to run for it, trying to get to the corner. Picks up 3, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Justin McDonald, the senior quarterback, is decked by Clint Brown, the bandit or outside linebacker. Watch this one again.
See right here, they're running a little waggle pass. The guard comes out to help out, and they do a good job pursuing right here, not allowing them to get the first down, knocking them out of bounds, and giving them in a 3rd and medium situation.
3rd down and 5 yards to go. Ball at the Jackson 45-yard line. Big play coming up for Fitzgerald. This initial possession of the first half for the Purple Hurricane is a big one. They got to get off the schneid defensively. Rolling to his right, McDonald going to throw it underneath. Diving attempt by Holland out there at the 37-yard line is incomplete. Marquez Ward had the coverage for Jackson.
Penetration over there on the far sideline of Jackson's defensive line kind of pushed the quarterback out of the pocket and allowed him to throw the ball on the run, and he put a little bit too much on it.
Mike Paris, 5th-year coach at Jackson, looking on as you see Justin McDonald dropping in deep punt formation, standing at his own 40-yard line. Roderick Shannon, the deep punt receiver for the Red Devils. This is a line drive, and it ends up to be a pretty good punt as Shannon runs away from it, and they down it inside the 6-yard line. Roy Williams was there to down it for the Purple Hurricane, so it wasn't a pretty punt, but it was effective.
Very effective inside the 10-yard line. Gives Fitzgerald an opportunity. They have Jackson backed up in a hole, and lets their defense be a little bit more aggressive and try to commit a turnover and see if they can change the momentum of this game a little bit.
So they mark it at the 10-yard line. I presume that's where the Fitzgerald punt coverage team touched it first. So it was downed at that point. First down, 10 yards to go for Jackson. Greer, the quarterback. And we get some movement. Right tackle, Curtis Rossner, leaned forward. That'll cost him 5.
Chuck, that's just a lack of concentration right there that puts you further deep in the hole. Those are the type of penalties that can kill you, especially in this territory.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense.
Jackson has a lead 9-7, as you can see, but they are deep in their own territory. Red, white, and blue. Jackson Red Devils. John Greer, the quarterback. It's up under center. They motion the man over there, and then hand on a straight-ahead dive to Cedarius McDaniel. He gets out to about the 7-yard line. Russell West, the right side defensive tackle, led the charge.
Jackson just trying to push the ball out a little bit to give him a little bit more room to maybe do a rollout or a sprint out pass to see if they can get the ball downfield a little bit.
Twins left, twins right. Here's a shotgun formation. On 2nd down and 13 from the 7. Out of his own end zone, Greer wants to run, trying to get outside, and he gets knocked down at the 2-yard line. Zach Lucky, the middle linebacker, knifed through there to make the stop, and he had help as well from Maurice Driver.
He took a hit right there. Chuck, he took a late hit right there in the back. You'll see it right here. 44 does a good job, but look right here. He takes a hit right on the side of his hip right there and getting up a little gingerly.
Well, John Greer trying to run out of trouble, gets knocked down. They'll give him forward progress out to about the 3-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd down and 17 yards to go.
If you're Jackson, that's the last thing you want to see right now. What they've got to do with a new quarterback in there, you got to make sure that the center and quarterback gets a real good exchange. Looks like they're going to call timeout right here to talk about it, but that's the most important thing right there.
Coach Mike Paris has been in this business a long time. As we said earlier, he had some success at Forest Park back in the mid-90s, and coached Hines Ward, who went on to have a great career with the University of Georgia. Then he took the job at Jackson, and this is a school that hasn't been a perennial member of the playoff picture. This year, though, the Red Devils came to the big dance, and Coach Mike Paris very proud of his team.
You know, it takes a little bit of time to get your system in.
You know, our young men have worked extremely hard to get to this point. They worked to the time where, you know, this all started in June. It didn't start in just August where you start out. I mean, this was a whole 4-year process for us. But I'm really proud of our young men and our community we represent. And that was one of the things that they wanted to be able to do. And I'm proud of them. They're proud of themselves and our community. And it means a lot to the people of Jackson.
Coach Mike Paris having huddled with his offense. The new quarterback after John Greer goes out with the injury is Orlando King. Let me correct that. Roderick Shannon is the quarterback. King splits out to the right. Roderick King Shannon on the quarterback keeper, gets back to about the 1-yard line, and that's all she wrote. There to make the play was Jason Carter. And also Eric Lewis. You see Zach Lucky made that big sack on John Greer a moment ago that sent him out of the game with injury. So, boy, they're going to be right against the back line to punt this one away. And Greer is back in the game. He will punt the football for Jackson. But as we said, backed up to the end line. 4th down, 19 yards to go. Ball at the 1-yard line. The snap by Barrow Hamlin. He gets it out of there. This is Coffey with a football. 40, 35, 30. Ollie Coffey, 20. One man to beat. Touchback 10, 5. Out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Ollie Coffey, what a punt return. Brad Selman made the stop. Ollie Coffey made them pay when they had to punt the ball deep in their own end zone.
That's what happens when you're not allowed to get your leg fully into it. He's been taking chances all day returning the ball right here, and you see he's got a perfect wall built. The perfect line going right down there. It makes a little cut right here, gets him down to the 1-yard line, and he's come up big for him, and that's what happens when you good defensive stop right there to allow Fitzgerald to be in good field position.
Brad Selman saved the touchdown. So 1st down, goal to go. Ball inside the 1. Quarterback sneak. Justin McDonald. Is he there? No signal yet. They're going to say he's down at the 6-inch line.
Right here's where the defensive line's just got to get as low as they possibly can and get the penetration and not allow the quarterback to jump over, and then the linebackers come over the top. You can see right here they're getting pretty low and do a good job with the linebackers filling in. But I'll tell you what, half his body was in the end zone.
Yep, but 2nd down and goal to go. Quarterback sneak. Justin McDonald into the end zone, touchdown. Took 2 tries from inside the 1, but the senior quarterback, Justin McDonald, gets it done. And Fitzgerald goes back out in front of Jackson here, 13-9.
Good job with the offensive line getting low and allowing quarterback right there to get through just enough to get over the touchdown. They wanted him to score twice just to make sure that he got the touchdown.
Jake Yarbrough is center, giving him a little push from behind. That never hurts. Now we get timeout called. Fitzgerald will burn one of its 3 timeouts here. So each team has used one here in the 3rd quarter. Coach Robbie Pruitt, coming from the state of Florida where he had all kinds of success a year ago, came to Fitzgerald, 1st-year coach there, and he's proud of his team as well.
Obviously, he's a great leader.
We, you know, this is my 1st year in Georgia, and of course my 1st year in Fitzgerald, and coming in not knowing anything about any of the teams or any of the kids, and just the way they bought into our program and the way they worked hard all summer and during the year, and and believed in themselves. I'm extremely proud of them. You know, most people had us predicted to come in last or either second last in our region, so to go in with some kids that had a desire to win and work hard, I'm extremely proud of them.
That's Coach Robbie Pruitt, the youngest inductee ever into the Florida High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame. He was inducted this summer, and 179-30 his career record, 32-6 in playoff action. He's won 7 state championships, all of them in Florida, trying to win one here in the state of Georgia. Here's a 2-point conversion try. Quick pitch goes to Maurice Driver, trying to get there, will not get there, knocked down at the 2. Carlos Morgan, an inside linebacker, came through to make the stop for Jackson. So the try for the 2-point conversion fails, and we're still at 13-9. Watch it again.
So right here, linebacker does a great job coming through and stopping the play, keeping them to getting the 2 points. Still a touchdown difference, or need a touchdown to go ahead.
The initial hit on the play was in there by Driver. Maurice Driver, a good job. Let's go downstairs. Here's John Nelson once again. John?
Guys just caught up with John Greer on the sidelines. The late hit may not necessarily have been the problem. He says he took a shot to the side of his right knee, and that's what's giving him all the mobility problems. That's what gave him the problem that took him out on 3rd down and caused the poor punt on 4th down. He says obviously he's going to give it a go. Not going to miss a game like this. Let's go back upstairs.
Fitzgerald with the lead, and they'll be kicking it off here. Maurice Driver tees it up for the Purple Hurricane. Fitzgerald up 13-9. We play with 5:39 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The winner of this one will play the winner of tomorrow's other semifinal game between Swainsboro and Washington County. Driver's kick takes Shannon all the way back to the 2. Roderick Shannon back out to the 10, 15, 20. That's all she wrote. Ollie Coffey was there to make the stop for the Fitzgerald Purple Hurricane.
Fitzgerald's intensity has really picked up. You saw the nice punt return they had to capitalize on the good field position their defense put them in. Gives them the touchdown to go ahead, and it looks like the defense is picking up where the offense left off.
Mark it at the 22-yard line. John Greer back in there at quarterback. You see him. A run and shoot offense. Held to a lone touchdown so far as we play halfway through the 3rd quarter. And there's a handoff going to McDaniel. Yep, going to correct that. With the ball, C.J. Blunt knocks down Correll Smith. Smith lost about 2 yards on the play. They pulled him out of his chute. And C.J. Blunt, the right cornerback, making a nice stop.
Nice fake by Greer right there. We thought had the ball. Number 4 gets it and just keeps running east and west, and it's hard to gain any yardage when you allow Fitzgerald's pursuit to catch up to you.
So it's going to be 2nd down, 11 yards to go. Mark it at the Jackson 21-yard line. Twins left, twins right. Shotgun formation for John Greer. Play action, then he follows his blockers, gets out to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Royal Bryant made the stop and threw Greer backward. He gets knocked down at the 21, which was the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 3rd down now and 11 yards to go.
Obviously, Greer's playing with a lot of pain right here. That looks like they were running the cornerback keeper with the right guard and right tackle pulling through, but Fitzgerald did a good job with the penetration.
Troy Williams comes out of the lineup, and another defensive back in there. Jason Carter on 3rd down and 10. Play action. And Greer puts it underneath, and what a hit by Ollie Coffey. Man, he put the hammer on Roderick Shannon, and down he went. Lost the helmet and everything. Watch this hit again. Ollie Coffey, number 4.
That's the price you pay right there when you lob the ball up. But I tell you what, that's what you call a snot knocker. He really got a hold of him and knocked him out. And that's a definitely highlight reel.
Yeah. So brings up 4th down and 10 yards to go. Big time hit by Ollie Coffey. He had that big punt return that set up the go-ahead touchdown for Fitzgerald. He now stands at his own 45-yard line with a chance to return this punt. Greer kicks it away from him, and it's going to roll dead down at the 37-yard line. So Fitzgerald will put it in play at that point. Curtis Rossner makes the play for Jackson. So here we go.
Chuck, as a defensive player, those are the kind of hits that you really hope to get when you have a chance to. But you could tell he was going after that punt. He really wanted to try to return it back. The momentum has definitely switched over to Fitzgerald right now.
But it's still a ball game. 13-9. Purple Hurricane leads Jackson as Fitzgerald goes to work at its own 37-yard line. McDonald hands it off to his fullback. He gets out to the 39-yard line for a gain of 2 on the carry. Tyler Pruitt stopped by Carlos Morgan, the inside linebacker. Ollie Coffey getting congratulations all around as he goes back to the sidelines.
He's going to remember that one for a long time, and I can promise you Shannon's going to remember it as well, knocking the helmet off.
Gain of 2 yards on the last play. 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Ball at the Fitzgerald 40. Split backs on a wing tee. They hand it off to the second man through. That's Tyler Pruitt once again. And he gets out to the 42, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and 5 yards to go. Selman on the stop for Jackson.
Jackson's defensive line still doing a good job getting the penetration, not giving up the big plays up the middle, and that's what they have to do to be successful. Have to stay, keep those 8 men in the box and not allow them to break the big play.
We're getting late in the 3rd quarter now, as you can see. Closing in on 2:40. And a big 3rd down, 4-yard to go play for Fitzgerald. And they hand on a counter play. This is Rodney Smith. Smith open for business, crosses a 50 and goes down to the 44-yard line. John Greer, who's also playing cornerback along with everything else, makes a stop, but not before Rodney Smith picks up the 1st down. You see it again.
Rodney Smith does a good job following his guard Smith around the corner right there, and he's just running downfield and running to daylight. And John Greer comes around, makes a good neck tackle right there, not to let him get any more yardage.
Mark it at the 44-yard line. 1st down 10 for Fitzgerald. A big 3rd down conversion. McDonald brings him to the line of scrimmage. Counter play. Here's Kevius Johnson. Johnson cuts it back and takes it down across the 40 to the 34-yard line. Kevius Johnson on a counter play is finally tackled by Robert Williams, a defensive end. You see it again.
Did a good job right here following your left guard and left tackle. Kevius does a good job kind of directing them, pushing them in the back right there, and picks up 10 yards and another 1st down. It looks like Fitzgerald's getting a little bit more confident on their offensive line and controlling the line of scrimmage.
Pulling right tackle Brad Foster with a good block for Fitzgerald. They overload the right side now and run Kevius Johnson behind that. Johnson's going to get down to about the 25-yard line where Marquez Ward makes a stop. Kevius Johnson gets about 8, so it's going to be 2nd down and 2, and now Fitzgerald really moving the football.
Jackson's defense has been out on the field quite a bit this half, the 3rd quarter, and you can tell they're starting to get a little bit tired, not playing disciplined football on the defensive side of the ball, and they've got to try to change that here.
This time they run an unbalanced line to the right and then counter to C.J. Blount. He takes it across the 25 down to about the 22-yard line. Carlos Morgan makes the stop. C.J. Blount on a counter play had a big hole, but it closed quickly.
Moving the chains, and that's exactly what you want. You see the guard and the tackle unbalanced, pulling over here. Does a good job straddling his other lineman and picking up the 1st down, moving the chains, and more importantly, keeping the clock running.
Yep, 2nd and short, 2nd and 2. And C.J. Blount picks up about 3. So 1st down 10, ball at the 21-yard line. Balance line strong to the right. Here's a draw play going to Tyler Pruitt. He takes it down to the 15-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 6. And if you have a team that primarily runs the ball, if you're getting big-time yardage on 1st down, you create all kinds of problems for the defense.
Put yourself in a great position. We look right here. It's 2nd and 3 right now. So we got a player hurt on the field.
That's the man who made the tackle, John. Ronald Wright. He is slow to get up.
But you're right. If you can control first down and get 4, 5, 6 yards and put yourself in a good position in second down, now that brings the pass into play. And they've been passing the ball, not as much this quarter as they did the first half, but you can pretty much bet that that's his option right now.
Fitzgerald with the lead. They're driving the football. They've got second down and 4 yards to go at the 15-yard line, and we got an official timeout here. Being aided to the sidelines, Ronald Wright walking gingerly on his left leg. And
he's played well for him.
They bring Brad Selman in there at a linebacker position. Second down, 4 yards to go. Ball at the 15-yard line. There's a draw play going to Tyler Pruitt. Pruitt at the 5. Goes to the end zone. Touchdown. The son of Coach Robbie Pruitt, Tyler gets it done. A 15-yard run. He picked up 6 yards on the play before. And number 33 has given Fitzgerald a 19-9 lead.
See right here, the offensive line doing a great job. You see the trap play right there, and it just opens up, and that's all he needs, a little space to get through. Goes through untouched and gets the score.
That's 24 touchdowns on the season for him. Now we get a flag on the try for point after. This will go against Jackson. Offside. So 19-9 with 16 ticks on the clock here in the third quarter.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense.
Now Fitzgerald decides it wants to go for a 2-point conversion. After the half the distance to the goal line penalty, puts the ball at about the 1.5. Dustin McDonald turns, hands to Pruitt. He goes a yard and a half, and the 2-point conversion is good. Tyler Pruitt scores a touchdown, gets a 2-point conversion, and now Fitzgerald has gone out in front on Jackson, 21-9. Purple Hurricane John Davis has scored 14 straight points and really grabbed the momentum offensively late in the second quarter. And
see the touchdown right here with the guard Smith pulling around, and Pruitt does a good job right there, just running through the tacklers and gets in the end zone. And
here's a 2-point conversion. Tyler Pruitt just puts his head down, runs at right tackle, and things open up for him.
As you said, Chuck, the momentum has changed. I don't know what was said in the locker room, but Fitzgerald's really come out and played well on both sides of the ball, and also the special teams getting that long punt return. And that helps out a whole lot when all three phases of your game is working on all cylinders.
All right, conversely, on the other side of the ball, Jackson has struggled with their offense. Run and shoot offense. They put up big numbers normally. They've been held to 9 points today, but they can't leave that game plan. They got to keep plugging. Maurice Driver with a kickoff, and it comes down to Shannon at the 4, back to the 10, 15, cuts back, 20, make it the 19-yard line before he's knocked down. Arthur Ray Holland makes the stop for Fitzgerald on Roderick Shannon.
Fitzgerald's just taking it to them. They were sticking their chest out and telling them and challenging Jackson to come after him. And you're right, you can't go away from your game plan. You got to get back to it, mix up the run and the pass, and try to get down the field. We're going in on the fourth quarter right now, and they're 13 points down.
Tyler Pruitt, his younger brother, is the backup quarterback for the Purple Hurricane. Here's Greers. Fires it over the middle. Diving attempt at the 40-yard line, intended for Correll Smith, who had a step on the defenders. And I'll tell you what, John Greer all day long has just been a little bit off. He's had a lot of people wide open, especially on deep routes. In the first half, he had Roderick Shannon open at about the 5 and just overthrew him about 3 or 4 times. That's happened today.
He has, right down the middle, and that's exactly, we talk about the adrenaline and everything, and he's hurt right now, probably protecting that hip that he got hit on, but he's got to pull it through and just try to make more crisp pass.
This time trips to the right, and they motion Roderick Shannon over to the left side. So 2 left, 2 right, shotgun formation. Greer drops, pump fake to the right, and there we go. John Greer is going to get run down from behind, knocked down at the 22-yard line. Good play on defense by Fitzgerald as Chris Farley makes the stop. Final seconds are gone here in quarter number 3, and Fitzgerald in the driver's seat headed for the state championship as they lead Jackson. We're going to the 4th quarter with Fitzgerald leading 21-9 on GPTV. At the Georgia Dome, we go to quarter number 4 in the 3A semifinals. Big 3rd down and 7-yard-to-go situation for Jackson. They trail it 21-9. Greer, straight drop, going to throw the underneath screen. It's taken by McDaniel, and McDaniel gets only about 3 yards. Russell West and Zach Lucky, the middle linebacker, combine on the stop. I thought it was a good call on 3rd and 7. You throw the screen to your running back, but Fitzgerald, they were ready for it.
Well, with the defensive line being able to get the penetration that they have at certain times, it was, but the guys for Fitzgerald have really done a good job closing in on the ball and allowed him not to get the first down, which is a big play for them.
Ollie Coffey, who had a huge punt return a few moments ago, set up a touchdown for Fitzgerald. Is deep to receive the punt from Greer. This is a line drive and returnable at the 37. Coffey trying to get outside. Not this time. He's knocked down at the 38. There to make the play was Michael Cash. And good punt coverage that time by the Jackson Red Devils.
Tell you what, Ollie does a great job right there of trying to set up his wall on his punt return team, but Jackson did a good job pursuing and staying spread out on the field and allowing them.
You see the games coming up later today and this evening here at the Georgia Dome. Quad A, Shaw Raiders, Nick Cairo Syrup Makers, and then the 5A, first time around for that classification. And that should be a good one as well. Handoff goes, and we get a fumble. Yes, we do. Coming up with a football is Robert Williams. Carlos Morgan jarred it loose. The handoff goes to Tyler Pruitt, who just had that touchdown a moment ago.
Good play right there by Gilroy, standing up the pulling guard and allowed the guy to come in there and cause the fumble and get the ball, and gives Jackson the opportunity to get some offense in the Fitzgerald's territory.
This could entirely switch the momentum. Huge play on defense by the Jackson Red Devils. They're going to put trips to the left, one to the right. Shotgun formation for John Greer, the quarterback. Quick drop. Now he wants to run. Right up the middle he goes. At the 30, down to the 29-yard line. John Greer on a quarterback draw. Creating on his own is stopped by quick side defensive end Maurice Driver. So that's going to get a 8-yard gain. They'll mark it at the 28-yard line.
Chuck, good plays on both sides of the ball. Fitzgerald's DBs are doing a great job of covering, and the offensive line for Jackson's really doing a good job. And Greer's just making the decision to run the ball and try to pick up some yards.
Tyler Pruitt fumbled. Ball recovered at the 36. Now Jackson trying to capitalize. Quick pass, and it's thrown in low, incomplete. At the 23-yard line, intended for Orlando King over there. Ollie Coffey had the coverage, but that was a low pass, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 2 yards to go. You see the score. Fitzgerald leading Jackson 21-9 here in the 3A semifinals. But Jackson trying to rally. John Greer with 102 yards rushing on the day. Out of the shotgun, facing 3rd and 3. Here he goes again. He's not going to get much. Knocked down after a 1-yard gain at the 27. Mike Harris, I believe, is in 4-down territory. Chris Farley makes the stop, the strong side defensive end.
Really has no choice right now. Just go ahead and go for it on 4th down. Greer's been making the plays, over 100 yards rushing, and he's the type of guy that can make something happen. Been doing it all day, and see what he comes up with now.
Now the run and shoot, traditionally a passing offense. This is definitely a down where you might want to run the football, but they don't even have a tight end in there. Motion man Shannon over to the left. They hand it off on 4th down, and boy, it's going to be close. Cedarius McDaniel carried, and I don't know. The middle of the defensive line was there for Fitzgerald. And Cedarius McDaniel didn't get much. Not only is it tough without a tight end and a fullback, but your offensive linemen are used to pass blocks, and Fitzgerald is held.
Well,
it's going to be 1st down for the Purple Hurricane at the 27-yard line.
Chuck, with the offensive line from Jackson, you've only got 5 offensive linemen, and you've got 6, 7 defensive linemen. You're really in a no-win situation right there. It's easier just to go back and get into the shotgun and let Greer make the play.
That's a great point. So it's 1st down, 10 yards to go at the 27-yard line. Purple Hurricane with a football, and they have the lead. And here comes Johnson, 30, 35. Out to the 39-yard line goes Kevius Johnson. He lined up in a wingback spot, took the handoff.
Does a good job right here following his tacklers, or his blockers. Jim Smith right there running up the field. Does a good job protecting the ball, picking up the 1st down, staying in bounds.
Nice open field tackle by the cornerback, Marquez Ward, the junior. So it's 1st down, 10 yards to go. That's a 12-yard gain for Kevius Johnson. Unbalanced line, strong to the left, and the handoff going to the little man, Reggie Pascal. He gets out near the 45-yard line, maybe even the 46. Tim Sims, outside linebacker with Brad Selman, the defensive tackle, makes the stop. And a tremendous surge by the offensive line of Fitzgerald. They're taking command now at the line of scrimmage.
Starting with the last drive, you're exactly right, and it's a nice quick handoff to the opposite side of the unbalanced line, and keeping Jackson a little bit confused right now, keeping them on their heels and making it tough for them to defend.
Purple Hurricane break the huddle. Handoff going to Pascal, breaks a tackle, 50, 45, 43-yard line before he's knocked down. Stop on a play by Marquez Ward. Reggie Pascal broke the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Says you get to watch it again.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, right here, one thing that I really like to see is the running back's going to try to run over you if they possibly can. They're not going to try to miss, and you really got to like that, the aggressiveness of them.
You know, Reggie Pascal's 5'4", 135. He ain't going to try to run over anybody.
No, exactly. He's they're feeling confident right now.
Excellent player. Ball at the 42-yard line of Jackson. Unbalanced line, strong to the left. They're going to run behind it. Kevius Johnson takes it, and he crosses the 40 down to the 39. Robert Williams at defensive end makes another stop for the Jackson Red Devils. They got a player down and injured. It's Carlos Morgan. A little earlier in the 3rd quarter, Ronald Wright, the other inside linebacker, went out, and now Carlos Morgan has gone down with an injury.
It's like he got rolled up on right there by his own player. Offensive line for Fitzgerald doing a fine job.
Jackson has really struggled in the 2nd half. They have yet to pick up a 1st down.
Hard to get in rhythm when you do that, Chuck. It's hard to obviously get any yardage and try to stay in the ball game. Fitzgerald's pretty much taken over this.
Prep Sports Plus, Georgia's only statewide high school sports and academics program, returns to the GPTV lineup Saturday, January 20th at 11 a.m. Join Jim Ginocchio and the entire Prep Sports Plus team for a look at high school sports around Georgia. That's Saturday, January 20th, exclusively on GPTV. Jim did a little play-by-play in the AA semifinal earlier today. We'll cover that tomorrow. Did a great job.
Did do a great job.
You see the injured player, Carlos Morgan. He is the leading tackler for Jackson coming in, so things not going well for the Red Devils. On the carry, Reggie Pascal. He runs behind a big, strong offensive line. Robert Williams and Brad Selman make the stop. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 4 yards to go, and this is a huge play for the Jackson defense. They've got to force a stop, get the football back. They're trailing, as you can see, 21-9. That unbalanced line, strong to the right now. The handoff going to Pascal, breaks the tackle at the 30 to the 25 to the 24-yard line. Little Reggie Pascal is getting it done. First down for the Purple Hurricane of Fitzgerald.
Big play for Fitzgerald right there, getting the first down. Again, we talked about it, running the clock down and getting the first down. Does a good job running up his offensive lineman. And the little big man right there is being able to squeeze through the defensive line and pick up extra yardage.
Jeff Myrick's slams him to the turf, but hey, that's after Reggie Pascal has picked up about 11. So it's first down and 10 yards to go. Mark it at the Jackson 23-yard line. Play action. McDonald back, looking, has a man out there. Pass complete to Holland. Touchdown, Fitzgerald. Terrell Holland off the play action, wide open at the 5, hauls it in, and Fitzgerald has gone out in front here on Jackson, 27-9.
Chuck, talk about changing it up right there. He's been running the ball all this drive, and all of a sudden he comes back with a pass. Offensive line does a great job, and he just gets behind him right there and runs on into the end zone.
On to try the point after, Fausto Avila. McDonald gets it down, kick on away, and the kick is good. We have 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, and Fitzgerald is on its way to the state finals. Looking pretty good right now. They lead Jackson 28-9, but Jackson, the Red Devils, still have an explosive offense, an explosive player in John Greer, and he's going to have to come back big, as you see Terrell Holland scoring that touchdown once again. Nice pass from McDonald, nice touch.
Exactly, and he got behind the defensive backs and able to bring it down, and it goes back to Coach Robbie Pruitt. It'd be interesting to see what he said at halftime, and really that's what a leader's all about. He brings those kids together and makes them believe in themselves.
And the cheerleaders have to do all those push-ups, 28 of them, now that all those points are on the board. It gets strenuous after a while.
That's why I stuck with football.
John Davis from Ellijay, Georgia originally. Played 4 years with Georgia Tech's Yellow Jackets, went on to the Buffalo Bills. A great year with the Bills. Marv leading. Kickoff. Comes down to Darnell Smith. Smith still on his feet, gets out across the 25 to the 26-yard line, where he's knocked down by Eric Lewis, the strong safety. So it's first down 10 for Jackson. They'll mark it at the 28-yard line. Red Devils came in at 12-1. Fitzgerald, led by Justin McDonald, came in at 12-1, and you see what Justin McDonald has done today. 5 of 9. He's thrown the touchdown pass. Greer hands off to McDaniel. Darius McDaniel does not get much. Quentin Driver makes the stop for Fitzgerald.
Chuck, being 19 points down, it's kind of surprising that they're running the ball. It almost makes me feel like that something's wrong with Greer. He's just not, the last couple of passes he's thrown, he's just really not been able to put any zip on it.
Going back to Justin McDonald for Fitzgerald a moment ago. Only 5 completions all day, but he's thrown the ball just enough to keep Jackson's defense honest. He's done a good job. There's a pass put up, and it's complete with the football and headed for the end zone. Touchdown for John Greer. Greer lined up. Roderick Shannon threw the football to him, so if he can't throw it for a touchdown, he'll run down and catch it for a touchdown. That touchdown pass covers 72 yards. We got a game again, 28-15.
It's like he was running off the sideline. I don't know exactly what happened, but you'll see right there, it looks like he's running off the sideline, and they snap it to Shannon
there
right
he
there.
Goes.
And, hits him wide open.
I'm not sure that is. Well, it goes for 72 yards. And now Brady Johnson on to try the point after, and he nails it. So we have 5 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. And all of a sudden, Jackson trying to climb back in. Fitzgerald leads him 28-16. There goes that.
Looks like it's a little ploy right there to throw something off the field. And once they snap the ball, he just streaks down the field and makes a nice catch right there and untouched in the end zone.
Yeah, he went to the sidelines with his knee pad, tossed that aside, and then on a streak pattern was wide open. Roderick Shannon hit him. So now with 5:40 left, you're down 2 scores. The onside kick if you're the Jackson Red Devils.
Well, I would say that you probably do, except Jackson hadn't really been able to stop Fitzgerald, and you don't want to give him the opportunity to get the ball around the 50-yard line. I'd be surprised if they did that. They might take a chance and maybe squib it halfway down, so Fitzgerald really can't get a good return on it.
I'll tell you what, Fitzgerald has its hands team right up along the 50, and 4 more behind him. They're expecting an onside kick. Ollie Coffey is deep to receive. He's only at the 20-yard line. Number 19, Brady Johnson, hit a 48-yard field goal in the first half for the first points of the game. Here comes the onside kick try. And it takes a bounce, rolling around, people diving all over. Who comes up with it? Fitzgerald's C.J. Blunt, number 21. And boy, I tell you what, Robbie Pruitt had to have his heart in his throat for a while. Excellent onside kick. There's Blunt as he comes up with it. So the Purple Hurricane with the lead and the football. First down, 10 yards to go at the 47-yard line.
I don't know if Jackson even saw that ball when it hit. It kind of hit at a different angle for an onside kick, and it bounced off the pads of Fitzgerald and had an opportunity, but C.J. Blunt did a good job going up for the ball.
Each team has 2 timeouts remaining. Fitzgerald with the lead over Jackson, 28-16. Purple Hurricane first down 10 at the 47. And one of the offensive linemen for Fitzgerald jumped the count early, so this will back him up 5. Josh McDonald, the left guard. Sorry, John.
Nope. I was going to say, right now is the time you don't want to make those type of penalties and get yourself in that long yardage situation.
It's going to be
prior to the snap. False start on the offense.
5-yard walk-off puts it back to the 42-yard line, so it's going to be first down and 15 yards to go. Mike Paris, the head coach of Jackson, went to Western New Mexico University. And a handoff going to Kevius Johnson, fumbles the football and falls on it back at the 37-yard line. That ball was stripped away by Robert Williams, a defensive end, and Kevius Johnson narrowly averts disaster there.
Chuck, I was getting ready to say that that's one of the ways that Jackson's going to be able to get in the ball game. They're going to have to try to hold those guys up and strip it, just like they did right there. Had a chance to get his hand in there and strip the ball out, and those bounces are going to go your way sooner or later.
No, that was a loss of 5 more yards. So it's second down and 20 yards to go now from the 37. Unbalanced line, strong to the right. And off, going to C.J. Blunt, looking for running room. 40, 45, 50, 48-yard line for Fitzgerald. C.J. Blunt gains back a bunch, but they're going to face a big third down here. Michael Cash, one of the linebackers, had to make the stop. Watch it again.
Nice cutback by C.J. right there. Does a good job. He was stopped going outside the corner and just cuts right back and finds an opening. It looked like the linebacker right there over pursued him and enabled them, you're right, to pick up about 15 yards and put him in a 3rd and 5 situation.
Mark it at the Jackson 47-yard line. Senior quarterback Justin McDonald. The unbalanced line once again. Counter play, C.J. Blunt in trouble. And he gets about a yard, maybe 2 to the 45. Robert Williams makes a stop. It's going to bring up 4th down and 2 in a punting situation for Fitzgerald. You want to try to pin Jackson deep in their own territory. 3 minutes, 45 seconds left. And we get a timeout called by Jackson, so they're down to 1 timeout. Let's go down now to Jim Ginocchio standing by. And Jim, we've been treated to some great football games here today.
You bet we have, Chuck and JD. Earlier today in the AA semifinal, Americus beat Charlton County 20-14. Here's Fernando Smith on the touchdown run Panthers advance to the championship game next weekend. Back to Chuck and JD.
And in the first game today, Buford was a winner as they advanced 26-6. So Buford in the single A semifinals. 5 games on the day here. We've got 2 more to follow this one and 5 more coming up tomorrow. Smiley face, and right now things are great if you're a Fitzgerald Purple Hurricane.
Jackson did a good job on that last defensive stand holding them. They're going to punt, and right now this is where Fitzgerald, their punter, they don't want him to punt the ball out of the dome. They just want to make sure they can get him inside the 20-yard line and let their defense come on the field and try to take over.
The pooch punt coming up from Justin McDonald. Shannon is deep to receive, standing at his own 10. They angle it away from Roderick Shannon, and this one bounces inside the 10, rolls out of bounds at the 7. That was a great punt by Justin McDonald, the senior for Fitzgerald.
Good job getting them inside the 10-yard line. Now you would think that
they mark it at the 6-yard line. We'll go down to the floor of the stadium once again. Here's John Nelson. John.
Thanks, Chuck and JD. Talked to a couple of the players on the Fitzgerald offensive line, and they said that they're a second-half team, but they probably got caught up in the atmosphere of being here under the big top in the first half. They also said that through time in the third quarter, it found out that Jackson couldn't take the pounding on the defensive side of the football, and also that in no uncertain terms, they were giving up on defense. Guys, back upstairs.
Well, there's 3:37 left, and Fitzgerald has pinned Jackson deep in its own territory at the 6-yard line. You see the Red Devils trailing by 12. They have the football, and John Greer, a guy who can make things happen in a hurry, will go out of the shotgun here. Trips to the left, 1 to the right. That's Orlando King.
Chuck, this is a hard situation for your offensive line right now because you are backed up, and you've really got to do a good job to give Greer as much possible time that you can.
Greer and the Jackson Red Devils down to just 1 timeout now. And here we go from the 6-yard line. They're 94 yards away. Greer going to fire it over the middle, pass over the head of the intended receiver Orlando King at the 30-yard line, and he was open. That one just missed.
Another case of just throwing it over his head right there. Had good time by the offensive lineman, was able to step through his pass, but he's just been, like you said earlier, just a little bit off and throwing over the receivers.
So 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Clock stops, as you can see. Ball at the 6-yard line. And a shotgun package. This time twins left and twins right. Greer steps up, fires, passes complete to Roderick Shannon at the 20. Shannon still on his feet, knocked out of bounds on the far side of the field at the 32-yard line. Roderick Shannon finally corralled by Ollie Coffey.
Nice pass and catch right there. Shannon was able to get out of bounds and stop the clock, give him a first down. See right here, good pass protection again. Catches him going right across the middle. Good catch. He tucks it away and tries to almost trips up, but catches his balance and gets out of bounds.
So we have 3:20 remaining. Shotgun once again, 2 left, 2 right. Greer fires, passes complete to Orlando King out near midfield. Orlando King had lined up in a slot position on the right side. Zach Lucky, the middle linebacker, got back to make the play. So they'll mark it at the 50-yard line. Another first down for Jackson, and here come the Red Devils. They're down by 12 points. Greer out of the shotgun once again. 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Blitz coming up, and the ball is loose at the 38-yard line, and they're going to rule incomplete pass, and John Greer got absolutely hammered.
Got a blitz coming off of the corner right there, and he just, with his back to him, you'll see right here, offensive line right there. Running back misses his block, and John just took a huge shot right there. Incomplete pass, though, so.
That was Arthur Ray Holland who made that big-time hit on John Greer. You see him, number 47. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10 yards to go, and Jackson dodges a bullet there. Good call by the officials, though. Shotgun package once again. Greer, pressure up the middle. And he throws it in the general direction of Orlando King as he's gone out of bounds. So the ball will come back to midfield. It'll be 3rd down and 10 yards to go. 2 minutes, 52 seconds left now.
Again, Fitzgerald's defensive backs doing a fine job covering up Jackson's receivers. And what happens is that Greer's just running out of the pocket trying to make something happen. And that's what great players do. They try to get out and make something happen. And but the DBs for Fitzgerald doing a great job.
You saw Coach Robbie Pruitt of Fitzgerald looking on. Huge defensive play for his club here. 3rd down and 10. And a handoff. Nope. There's an end around taken by Roderick Shannon. He only gets about 4 yards. Roderick Shannon gets knocked down by Holland. Also over there was Joe Strain.
Trying to run a little misdirection right here, but Fitzgerald does a good job staying at home out here on the corner and doesn't allow Shannon to pick up much yardage.
Maurice Driver was also there along with Stone. So it brings up 4th down and 7. And a game on the line here for Jackson. Ball at the Fitzgerald 47-yard line on 4th and 7 to go. Here's the end around. Shannon going to go for the bundle. Hit as he releases it. The pass is short and it's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Lewis, a strong safety. Takes it out to the 24-yard line, and barring a miracle now, Fitzgerald will advance to the state 3A finals. Big pick by Eric Lewis.
Shannon just couldn't get enough on that ball. They run a little sweep around and around, and you'll see right here.
And he was hit as he released it too. Holland hit him as he released it, made him throw it short. Eric Lewis did the rest. And with only 1:56 left, Fitzgerald's in pretty good shape. They lead by 12. Carlos Morgan being taken off the field in a wheelchair. Handoff going to Pruitt. Tyler Pruitt. Big gainer out to the 37-yard line. John Greer had to make the stop. You get a look at Eric Lewis, who just made that pick. That's a 1st down for Fitzgerald. Jackson down to its final timeout. They've got 1 left. And the clock is rolling. We have 1:36. Unbalanced line, strong to the left. Split backs in the backfield, as you can see. Justin McDonald. And he'll hand it off to Reggie Pascal. Little guy, he gets back to the line of scrimmage. But it's pretty much a moot point now. Jack Gilroy makes a stop for Jackson.
Chuck, the difference of the game in the second half is Fitzgerald's offensive linemen really picked up their intensity level, able to get Jackson pushed off the ball and get the ball in the end zone. So they've done a fine job this second half.
And they had a big stop on 4th down, deep in their own territory when Jackson went for it, had to turn the ball over. There's Pascal once again, 45-50, Reggie Pascal. Cuts it back. Reggie Pascal still on his feet. Finally knocked down by Clinton Brown and Marquez Ward. And that's all she wrote. Just 40 seconds left now. Reggie Pascal cracks it wide open. And Fitzgerald will advance to the final game. They will visit the winner of tomorrow's contest between Washington County and Swainsboro. Fitzgerald will move up to 13-1. And a handoff going to Tyler Pruitt. Breaking tackles down to the 20-yard line. Jackson Red Devils of Coach Mike Paris will finish the year at 12-2, and they have had an excellent season as well. You see the matchup for the final game next weekend. The winner of Swainsboro and Washington County will host, but no matter what happens there, Fitzgerald will be at the party as they advance with a 28-16 win over the Jackson Red Devils. Their fans give them a standing O. A lot of people up from Fitzgerald, Georgia to watch the Purple Hurricane advance as they get a big win over Jackson's Red Devils. As I said, a big stop in the 4th quarter on defense. couple of big plays on offense, in particular a touchdown pass by Justin McDonald, and that got it done. Back with our post-game wrap-up coming up. You see the final score, and you're watching high school football on GPTV.
Back here at the Georgia Dome, Fitzgerald beats Jackson 28-16 to advance to the championship game. Let's go downstairs to John Nelson.
Thanks, G. Here with Robbie Pruitt. You can officially take a breath now. It was a tale of two halves out there, definitely.
Well, I tell you, they got a great football team, and we, we made a couple of adjustments at halftime that helped us out, but my hat goes off to them. Coach did a great job with them, but I'm real proud of our kids and what they've done this year.
The 3- and 4-yard gains in the first half turned into 7- and 8-yard gains in the second half. What was the difference? Was it fatigue on their part or just conditioning on yours?
Well, I don't know. We, like I said, we changed a couple blocking schemes. I think it helped us a little bit. And then, it just was fortunate and worked out. You know how that goes. Sometimes it backfires and sometimes it works. And, tonight, it worked for us.
This is old hat for you down in Jacksonville, Florida, and that part of the way for Florida football. But for Georgia football and for the folks in Fitzgerald, how do you explain to these folks that we got a state title game next week?
Well, we just, they know, believe me, they've been following our kids real close, and they're real proud of them, and it's just been unbelievable. Our kids are, I can't say enough about them. They've worked hard, and, we just got a bunch of overachievers. We don't have a standout player on either side of the ball, but we got a bunch of guys that work good together as a team.
How much of a challenge was this for you?
Well,
real quick.
Every year is a challenge. You don't ever know. You line them up and practice hard, work hard in all season, and see how far you can go.
All right, congratulations, Robbie Pruitt. He's into the championship game next week. Let's go back upstairs to Jim Giannacchio.
All right, Johnny, thanks very much. For John Nelson, Chuck Hush, and John Davis, I'm Jim Giannacchio. Stay tuned. Coming up at the top of the hour, Shaw, Cairo, the Quad A semifinal game from the Georgia Dome. This has been a presentation of GPTV, recognized around the state as the leader in high school sports television. See you at the top of the hour. Georgia Public Television's broadcast of the Georgia High School Association 2000 football semifinals has been made possible in part by Georgia Natural Gas, Georgia's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, IBEW Local 613, and by South Trust Bank.